Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is F1 Tonight Netherlands, Season 7, Round 6, the Monaco Grand Prix. And I am your host, Daniel Hazzah Burt. And joining me, as always, the splendid, the magnificent, the almighty, Adrian Stats Rich. How are you, sir?
I'm very, very well, Dan. Thank you again for the amazing introduction, as always.
Oh, no problem at all, sir. So, shall we take a look at our driver standings here? Following, of course, the Spanish Grand Prix last time out, round 5, of course. So, leading the way so far, Boy Williamson for Ferrari is in first place with 90 points. But right up his chuff, it's Nicky Visser for Toro Rosso, second place with 88 points, just 2 points separating the two top runners. Damien Hartman, the Alfa Romeo, is in third place with 70 points. Then looking down the rest of the order, his teammate, Vazden Brayan, fourth. Sander Herman in the other Ferrari is fifth. Vit for McLaren is P6 on exactly the same points. Marcel Droning for Red Bull is seventh. And Guido Urshan is also in the Red Bull, he's P8. Don Donkel for Toro Rosso is P9. And Paul Quarret is 10th for Mercedes. Ari Kopp is 11th for Williams. Nisha Mahendra Singh for McLaren is 12th. Mark Schnappers for Renault is 13th. 14th is Peter Philip in the other Renault. Then the second Mercedes of Miguel Torni is 15th. And the other Williams of Martin Pardy Cooper is 16th. Then Barry Deepavane, our new guy in the Haas, is 17th. And Niels Ikmar is 18th. The other new gentleman also joining Barry in the Haas. Welcome to you, Niels, and we hope you have a very good first race here. A challenging one to start off with, albeit, but we hope you have a good one. And then the 2 racing points, of course, unassigned so far. So, Adrian, it's looking pretty hot, isn't it, up the top end?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it doesn't get much closer than that. Only 2 points in it after the first 5 races. And the 2 drivers actually were teammates as well last season, if you remember, in the Red Bulls. Nicky Visser coming off better and winning the championship. I think Boy finished third in the championship last season. But then, yeah, just below them, you've got the two Alfa Romeos tied on points, both on 70. Yes, it's very, very close at the top. It is worth mentioning as well, actually. Unfortunately, Damien Hartman won't be racing tonight. He's notified us that unfortunately his grandfather has passed away today. So our condolences go out to him and his family. We wish him all the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Then, so just further down the order, you've got Sander Herman and Silde Wit also on exactly the same points, 37 apiece. So going 2 by 2. Also, the arc style there going down the order, really close. And then Marcel Droning only 1 point off those guys.
No, that's right. Yeah, I mean, it's everyone's got their own sort of little battles going on at this sort of quarter stage of the season. But we'll see how the championship's looking sort of towards the business end of the season, and see if it is still as close as it is right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the guys just further back, sort of 10th to the back of the field, also still within their own battle, like you mentioned. Only a couple of points between them as well, so all up for grabs today again, isn't it?
That's right, and like I found out on Tuesday, one good result from any of those sort of single point drivers, and they'll shoot right up that table.
Absolutely. So then, having a look at the Constructors' Championship here, following Spain, Alfa Romeo still leading the way there, first place with 140 points. And just behind them is I was going to say Mercedes, then it's Ferrari in second with 127 points. Toro Rosso a third with 107, and it's Red Bull in fourth. McLaren a fifth. Mercedes sixth. Williams a seventh. Renault eighth. Haas ninth. And of course the racing points with no drivers are still sat in P10. So just like the Drivers' Championship, it's just as close at the top end of the Constructors, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 13 points is really nothing at all in the Constructors' Championship. You're able to, you can score up to 44 points in one race. So it's, that is really nothing. It's only 33 between first and third, in fact. So, yeah, very, very tight.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that Ferrari are looking really good to topple Alfa Romeo, maybe in the next couple of races. But don't forget, those Alfa Romeo guys often finish line astern in the top end of the field, don't they? So, although Boyd's been doing a lot of winning recently, those Alfa Romeo guys have been doing a lot of heavy point scoring, haven't they?
Yeah, and that's the thing. You can't ever hold those guys back, the Alfa Romeos, because they are so experienced, particularly Denbrian. As I've mentioned numerous times, multiple constructors champion, multiple runner-up in the drivers' championship. It doesn't seem to matter how bad a race he has. He is always up there, at least on the bottom step of that podium. So yeah, you just cannot count him out at any point, particularly in a race like this, actually, where there will be lots and lots and lots of pit stops and replacement wings and things.
Yeah, probably one of the more exciting races to watch from a commentator's point of view, isn't it? The Monaco Grand Prix.
Yes, absolutely.
And with that, let's have a look at the track map for this evening. We'll see Circuit de Monaco in Monte Carlo. Circuit length of 2.074 miles, with a race length of 161.7 miles. And then the total amount of laps tonight is 78. The longest amount of laps in any Grand Prix, but that's because they can't reach the required distance of a regular race. So, having a look at the circuit layout, Sector 1 takes us all the way from the start-finish line up to Turn 5 through Saint-Devote, Beau Rivage, Mazanet and Casino, and then Turn 5 then goes all the way, so Sector 2, from Turn 5 all the way down to Turn 12, around the very famous tunnel section, of course, the Grand Hotel hairpin before that, Turn 6, Portier at 8, and then all the way down the Novelle chicane. Great overtaking opportunity for those drivers that are ballsy enough to go for it. And then that very tricky Turn 12 to back as well, which takes us into Sector 3. You've got Louis Chiron and the pool section as well, from 14 to 15. Then up through the chicane of 16, down to 17. Again, 18 if you're being very ballsy around Le Rascasse. You can make an overtake there. We saw Charles Leclerc doing quite a lot of that in the real F1 season, albeit not everyone was very good for him. But certainly an opportunity in Turn 18 if you can find it. And then Antinogues is the last turn at 19, brings us across the start-finish line. The speed trap is just before Turn 10, probably the fastest part of the track there, out of the tunnel section down to Turn 10. And then the DRS section zone is just basically exactly on Turn 17, and then the DRS zone activates from 19 all the way down to 1. So Adrian, your thoughts on this track? Obviously, we're on for an awesome finish last Tuesday, man. Just let everybody here know I was cheering out. The rooftops were lifting in this house. I was shouting and screaming. I thought you were going to have it, but unfortunately, such an annoying result in the end. Still P6, awesome finish.
Thank you.
So your thoughts might be a bit mixed having that sort of race, but what do you think of this track?
Well, Monaco's always been a circuit that I have loved to watch. I haven't always loved to drive it on the pad in particular. It's very not tiresome, but it does take a lot of energy, it seems, and you just sort of forever finding yourself wanting it to end. On the wheel, however, it is loads and loads of fun, and I probably could have done another 100 laps after that race, to be quite honest. But did have really high hopes for myself. On Tuesday, finished 4th here last season. Still to date my best finish in F1 tonight. So yeah, very happy with P6. Could have been a lot more, but then it could have been a lot worse. So
absolutely.
Yep.
The positives, yeah, great result in the end, nonetheless. And you mentioned that the pad side of driving this track can be a bit strenuous. Do you think that was something that might play into some of the drivers' favours? The ones that are on the wheel tonight.
Yes, absolutely. I do think that will go for them as the pad users sort of become not necessarily tired or fatigued, but just lose that concentration. A sweaty thumb is all it will take for one slip on the analog stick. With the wheel, you've kind of got both arms to rely on, so you're less likely to make a mistake on your steering, but. We'll see what happens, and you sort of come the end of the race, you'll sort of be able to tell who is using a wheel and who is on the pad. Yeah,
agreed. Any particular favourite sector of this track, Adrian?
Sector 3 is my absolute favourite. That's sort of for me where the track kind of comes alive, and you can really sort of test your own bravery, test your mettle in that sector, because it's just going to depend on how brave and how fast you want to go through those last few corners.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those ones where it's just there's so much speed you carry through. I think it's probably one of the fastest sort of sectors, compared to the cornering speed that you get on the track, and just getting up close and personal with those Armco barriers. It's definitely the most kind of exhilarating feeling you get of driving around this track, isn't it? I think through sector 3.
Yeah, and that adds another level to the sort of experience of speed with the barriers being so close. I mean, you're averaging 110 miles an hour every lap around here, based on a 1:10. You imagine in 160, 170 miles an hour coming out of that tunnel, which is for the most part, it's actually quite low visibility through that tunnel, and it's there is actually quite a tight corner around in that section as well. And then you come out, you're blinded by the sunlight, and then all of a sudden you've got a braking zone and a 60 mile an hour corner in front of you. Yeah,
there's certainly a lot to kind of come to terms with as from a driver's point of view, especially the likes of Niels, of course, starting with us this evening. I don't know what his experience is like with 100% races before, but obviously it's for all the tracks to start on, it's probably one of the most daunting, isn't it?
I mean, we're properly thrown him in at the deep end here, but this, it might go in his favour, because if he does do well here, then you could say he's got the hard one out of the way, and it's all downhill from here. But
I was just going to say, speaking of deep ends, he could end up at the swimming pool tonight, couldn't he? After this race.
Very good. He may well do. He may well do.
Well, we'll see how he gets on anyway. If I can hand you over, Adrian, to do the rundown of the drivers whilst I get us over to the track side view, if you like.
Absolutely, it'll be my pleasure.
Thank you very much.
No problem. I'll just run through as they appear at the moment. So Boy Williamson, as I said, he is racing tonight. Currently sitting in P1 with an 11.9. His teammate Sander Hermans is here, both Ferraris, looking to try and leapfrog Alfa Romeo. Only one Alfa Romeo here tonight, as I said, with Damien Hartman absent. Basden Brien is leading the fight. Still de Wit is here. His teammate Niche is the other absentee. He's not available tonight for McLaren. Nicky Visser, last season champion, and John Donkel, the league owner, they're both here, both in the Toro Rossos as per usual. Two Renaults here, Mark Stappers and Peter Phillip, both racing tonight. Very deeper vein in the Haas and the other new guy, Niels Ikema. They're both here. Martin Pardecoop and Ari Kopp in the two Williamses. They're both racing, as are Miguel Torni and Paul Correa. And lastly, I seem to have missed out the Red Bulls. That is Guido Urshan and Marcel Droenig.
Very
16
good.
drivers. Thank you.
Yeah, good turnout for a race of this type, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, on Tuesday we had our very first 20-driver race. Well, we started off with 20. One did have to drop out just before the start of the race. A bit unfortunate, but everyone was all sort of ready to go. But yeah, 16 drivers here at Monaco. Yeah, that's very good. Pretty pleased with that. Only two absentees, as we said. So yeah, lots of potential action.
See how we get on. I'm just trying to get the sound going for us here, as per usual. This seems to be a recurring problem. I do apologise for that, but there you go. You got the picture up now, anyhow. In the meantime, we'll get the sound going very shortly, I'm sure.
Just to let everyone know, it's only 2.5 minutes left of Q1. 16 drivers here tonight. Ikema will be forced to suffer a back start, so he will drop out of this session, which means the other 15 automatically go through. So there isn't really anything to watch. There won't be any real surprises here unless someone does crash out in Q1, in which case even though they go through, they won't be able to participate in further qualifying. But yeah, just the one car to lose tonight, and we already know who it is.
Indeed. Well, we should have some sound now, which will be good. Well, I can't hear it, but OBS shows some sound bars going up and down, so hopefully we've got something.
Yeah, stand by.
Thank you all. So Berry going back out on track. Of course, 1 minute 50 seconds left. He's got plenty of time to get around this sort of 1 minute 20 out lap time circuit.
Just to confirm, sound check is good.
Perfect. Yeah, we just sorry, just touching on Berry there, heading back out onto circuit for another hot lap, hopefully.
I was just going to say on the pit exit, it's often sort of quite a slippery exit, particularly on the very first out lap. But not only that, it's actually quite tricky to remain within the line. Those of you who don't know, if you cross that line on the pit exit, that yellow line there just to the right of Deeper Vein as he drove past, you do actually suffer a warning. It's only a warning in quali. It can amount to a penalty in the race. But yeah, very easy to cross that line, and it was also very easy to actually tag the barrier on the right hand side of that pit exit, which is really the last thing you want to do, especially if you've just come in to replace that wing.
Yeah.
And then you end up donking the wall and on your way out.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier no matter what you're doing around this track.
No.
I did just see Berry go, I think a legit purple.
No.
Oh, okay then.
about half a second off of the legit purple time, which was set by Steele DeVitt, currently in P3. It was an 18.626 from him, 19.123 from Berry. And he's a full second down in the middle as well.
Improve, maybe a little bit here.
Could
be close.
Yep.
A couple of tenths.
It was 1/10 faster than previous.
Roger that. Just taking a look at the YouTube comment section here. Eddie, our obviously, of course, fearless leader, if you like, in terms of the commentary point of view, leads the F1 Tonight UK broadcast. He's tuned in. Good luck, and saying he can hear us loud and proud. Huzzah! Perfect.
Huzzah to the king of broadcast.
Indeed. So, with the end of qualifying one complete, then Boy Williamson is on top step for now. Baz Brain is P2, Tilda Bit, Van Herman's P4, Nicky Visser P5, Mark Chappers P6, John Donkel P7, Marcel Droning 8, Very Deeper Vein is 9, and Peter Phillip is 10. Mark Chappers, Ari Kopp, and Miguel Torney also getting through to Q2. And Ryan Lear, also the Instagram maestro, is shouting out F1 Gamer Picks at F1_Gamer Picks on Instagram. He does all of our photography now, actually. He's in the session with us at the moment as a spectator. He does all of our live race photography, so big shout out to him. Thank you for joining F1 tonight and improving content on that side of it. Looks really good from what he got from the UK side of it as well. So yeah, big thanks to him.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jonah, the photographer's name is, Canadian fellow. Yeah, absolutely fantastic work on Tuesday's race. Really impressive shots on that Instagram channel, as you just, or Instagram account, as you just mentioned.
Yeah, I can't work out how he does it. It looked really good. It's almost like he's paused the race and done a photo mode during the live Grand Prix.
It's really incredible. Yeah. The one of Dylan Platt, actually, John Donkel, he was saying that it looked real. I mean, it genuinely did. It was only when I saw the number that I realised it couldn't be, unless Fernando Alonso's jumped in a Red Bull.
Yeah, I particularly like all the images of, I think there's about 3 drivers going through 13 or 14.
Yes. Well. Yeah.
Back to the actual current broadcast. Ari Kopp, Martin Party Cooper. First to come round. Obviously with a track like this, one thing we can be certain of is that drivers that go out first normally go around the track first, because there isn't much room to let people past here, so it should be Martin that will be taking us round for a maiden hot lap. Just Q2, the part of qualifying where they choose their strategies. Seeing a fairly even distribution of soft to mediums, but then Zander Herman on the hards there. What do you make of that one?
I'd be doing exactly what Sanders doing.
Yeah.
I'd be wanting at all costs to start this race on the hard tyre, even if I don't go through to Q3, because you might think, oh well, qualifying position is probably really important at Monaco, as Pardew was just bounced off the wall there.
Yeah, you validated turn 1, I believe.
Yes, qualifying position might be really important at Monaco, and I think in the real races it is a lot more important. But in these races, I find that because lots of people do end up bouncing off a wall at some point, I don't think track position early on is too important. So, yeah, hard tyres all the way for me.
Yeah, I think I can carry on that one. Maybe I'll go for some mediums. I don't mind being in the middle of the pack, I think, as much as yourself.
I hate it. I really do hate it.
I mean, granted, actually, at Monaco, I think of all the places to be, being further back is probably better. At the front or the back, in the middle of those deals. Yeah, I think I'll probably go for some mediums. Yeah,
I made 0 overtakes on Tuesday and found myself in P3.
Yeah.
from P15.
Yeah. Were you not at P2 at one point?
I don't recall being P2.
Okay. Picking up a bit too much there, sorry mate.
Well, I was actually P1 for like 5 laps, yeah.
Nice.
No.
Well, hey.
No.
Looking at our runners and riders here as they start to cross the finish line. Still DeVitt is P1 at the moment on the mediums, so 1:11.6. Quite some margin ahead of Nicky Fisher as well, about 5/10 in that at the moment. So good lap from Sil.
Yep. John Donkel, Nicky's teammate, setting roughly the same time as Nicky, albeit on the softer compound. There is about 3/4 of a second between the softs and the mediums on this track.
Seeing Sil do a Rosberg there and go off at turn 5. Hopefully not to try and slow anyone down this time. I think it was actually set to RE through, I think.
Seems to be quite a popular track for the not so popular drivers to kind of do their thing and block others and you know, all those other sort of kind of malicious activities that you sometimes see in the real world races.
Yeah, luckily nothing we get here at F1 tonight.
Absolutely not.
Riding on board with Ari at the moment as he comes round 18, oh no, into the pits he goes. And it's a funny pit entry here, isn't it? Because you always feel like you're always going to speed it, but somehow never manage to.
Yeah. Some of the guys were talking about that on Tuesday as well. The actual entry or the pit speed limiter line doesn't actually appear. The distance gauge that comes up at the top of the screen doesn't appear until you've actually already crossed the line. So you just have to kind of crawl into that pit lane at less than 37 miles per hour, 60 kilometers per hour, and just hope that you don't get a penalty.
Yeah, cross the fingers. Ooh, boy, looking a bit close to the wall there through turn 4. I do need to speak to the guys that give tracks their amount of turns, because I mean there's definitely 5 turns going up the hill to turn 3. I mean if turn 2's a turn, then surely there's a few more up there.
You'd think so. But yeah, well, you know how these guys
maybe they could go over 19.
I think they have a quota to fill, so
yeah, I mean China definitely does, that's for sure. Work that one out. 3 turns round turn 1.
We can only race at Monaco if it has more than 19 turns.
Okay, then this Kinky will do it. So boy, obviously on an aborted lap now as he comes back in, probably to the pits now. Actually, no, he is saving ERS, so he might be going for another one. No, in this lap. Box. Marcel
Dronig on a hot lap at the moment. He's currently a few tenths down in the first sector, 7 to be precise. That's on Sildevit at the top.
Right.
And behind him, Mark Stappers as well on the soft tyre. He's set quite a quick lap actually, a quick first sector, 19.0. That's on par with Nicky Visser's mediums.
Very good. Seeing Marcel purple in too, is that correct?
Unfortunately not.
Okay.
Approximately half a second off. I know, they really need to fix that because it does get annoying.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? What I thought I'd worked out, sorry, is Marcel goes to 113.1 there, P6, very good. What I thought I'd deciphered was that if it came up and then went away right away, it was a fake one. If it came up and stuck there for a long time, it was real, but apparently not the case.
No. So we've got a couple of retirements. Stappers has actually crashed. That's just... yeah, just before Razkaz. Yeah, I never know the name of that corner. And very deeper vein as well. He has crashed on track, or retired on track somewhere. Yeah,
I can't see here. I still got Mark Stappers around 15, which we're going to see now. No, we're not. From his teammate Peter Phillip, but his car's already despawned. Yeah, unfortunately 2 retirements, 2 victims so far of this challenging track.
I mean, it is a really difficult one. There isn't one that's really more difficult than Monaco.
No.
In any racing discipline, really, I think.
I mean, I think maybe doing it in a 5500 like they were in Top Gear might be a bit easier. Compared to going around corners at 60 miles an hour like these guys are doing.
19.1, almost 19.2 from Peter Phillip in the first sector. That is pretty good. Sander Hermans, though, 19.0 on the medium tyre. So keep an eye on those two. I think Hermans is a bit ahead on track, so he's going to cross the line first. So 34.3, that is the second fastest middle sector for Sander.
And 1.4 seconds up in total that I can see there after he comes out sector 2.
This could take the top spot.
Ooh, close. Just over 2/10 apart from Sil. Did Zander set that initial lap on the hard, or did he just opt for the mediums from the get-go in the end?
That was on the hard tyre originally.
Right,
yes.
Okay.
Peter Phillip crossing the line now. He's just done a 12.858. That's a respectable time. That should be enough really to go to Q3.
Yeah, we just got one driver that can sort of threaten that at the moment, which is Miguel Torney, currently in the pit. It's P11. Apart from that, everyone else will be through for now.
It's a little bit early, but do you have any favourites for pole position?
Do you know what? I don't actually know right now. But... but I'm going to put my money down on Nicky.
Okay.
What about you, Sam?
Well, I hope it is Nicky because he's using a setup that I created.
Well. Conflict of interest there, I'm afraid, sir.
But no, I'm not going to go for Nicky for pole position. I'm going to say I think Sil DeVitt will take pole.
Yeah, that's a wise call there, I think. Yeah, more guys opting for the softs right now. 6 versus 5. A pretty even spreads.
Yeah, I mean, I've done some sort of, extensive testing with the 3 compounds on this circuit. The medium tyre can, in fact, do half of the race distance, which will mean that you could theoretically start on the soft tyres, maybe only do 5 or 6 laps, and then jump onto 2 sets of mediums for the rest. What I ended up doing was started on the hards. I had an incident in that one where the safety car punted me into another driver. So I had to come in that one and just went onto the mediums up until lap 40, and then did another set of mediums to the end, and it was quite a comfortable run. The tyres weren't too bad. So for me, the softs are kind of redundant in that respect.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to sort of be on the same page as you there, Adrian, with that one.
But everyone's got their own their own strategies in mind, their own preferences for tyre choices, because they'll have different setups, so they'll handle differently on each of the tyres. The air rates will be different for each driver. There's so many variables, and no two driver will have exactly the same strategy.
No, yeah, quite right. Now Marcel Droning just starting his hot lap here. He works his way up the hill towards turn 3. Have you got a corner on this track that you hate the most?
Not really, surprisingly. No. I'm just sort of able to kind of
flow
with it. There's no one that catches me out. Is that Droning off?
Yeah,
at the hairpin.
Yeah.
Got to be really patient going around. That's the slowest corner in all of Formula 1. You're only doing 28 miles an hour around. It's 45 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, I was just going to say actually, as he was going through there, that's my least favourite corner of this track.
My my dad struggles with that corner. He races on a pad, and he always says that he just can't make it turn enough, and he ends up almost pulling the angle stick off to try and get to work.
I'd be inclined to agree. I mean, it definitely seems much easier on a wheel.
It absolutely is.
By a long way.
Yeah, definitely easier on a wheel.
Well, back in, that leaves the track green for the rest of the drivers now. No one else on at the moment.
At least with a wheel, you know you're at full lock, but doing it on a pad, you know you actually might be holding diagonal down and left rather than just left. You know, it reduces your turn.
Funny how before you use a wheel, it kind of feels right, and then you use one, and then you come back to a pad afterwards, and it's like, what was I thinking? Using these little sticks to steer a car around a track.
It does feel so like foreign to me now.
I can still just about do it. I think because I not often hop on there just maybe before a race or two, just to maybe have a little lap for fun on the pad. But it's funny how before you use a wheel, it feels, good.
Yeah. 25 years I've been using the pad, and I've forgotten it all within probably 3 months of being on the wheel.
Yeah, easily done, especially if you use it a lot.
It's now been a year and a quarter actually on the wheel for me now.
I've
never, not gone to the pad at all in that time.
I think it's been I got mine for my birthday in January last year. Granted, I didn't use it an awful lot because I just stopped league racing at the time, conveniently. But we do our sort of offline kind of private championship, me and you, and that's where I use it the most. But certainly for the year and a bit I've had it, I haven't used it nearly that much. I would say I probably used it a total of maybe 5 months probably. There we go, qualifying 2 complete, and Silde Witt leads the way for now. Zander Herman behind him, Nicky Viss is 3rd, John Donkel 4th, Boy Williamson 5th, Peter Phillip is 6th, Baz Den Brayen is 7th, Marcel Droning 8th, Martin Parley Cooper 9th, and Ari Kopp through to Q3, P10. Then Miguel Torney 11th, Barry Deepervein is 12th, and Mark Stappers 13th. Those guys not going through to Q3. So many. I say this, there's quite a few people beginning with B here now. I don't have to think about when I say their names. Is it Barry? Is it Baz? Is it Boy?
Boy.
We'll get there. worth shouting out Ari Kopp though, getting through to Q3. It's not often we see him through to this session, is it?
No, that's right. No, he's done done an okay job here. See how he does in Q3 and indeed the start of his race.
Yeah. Good for him.
I'm trying to think which race Ari joined last season. I think it was Singapore, off the top of my head.
Right.
But yeah, we haven't seen him do Monaco just yet.
I think you might be right actually, because I remember watching the stream back, and I think that's one of the first streams, or one of the streams where you first hear Eddie go, Ari!
Ari!
So yeah, I think you might be right. I think it might be something. Silver Vit leading back away now then. Vits. This is lined up right now to be first one across the line start this one.
I think we've got a Toro Rosso ahead actually. That is Nikki, and then Baz, and then Silt.
Yeah. Quite right. He goes into the tunnel here. Awesome bit of echoing through there.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really do.
I think it's. Is this the first game where they introduced it?
I think it was in 18.
Right. Okay.
It was in 18. It's sort of more prominent in this game.
Yeah, certainly around Abu Dhabi. Scares the doing daylights out of me going out the pits there.
It actually caused me to crash in Q1. Actually.
Ah, did it?
yeah, it did. Really put me off, and I just went donk into the wall.
It's not sustained either. It's just like a bah as you go out the pit. Wakes you up a bit. Nikki coming out the turn one here. It's the easiest one to get a corner track penalty, isn't it? Turn one.
Yes.
As long as you can get around that one, okay. You should be scot-free for the rest of it, penalty-wise, anyway.
Yeah, this track's notoriously difficult to avoid penalties. It's there, and it's also the Nouvelle chicane as well. It's a very common place. Or as Nicky just clips the inside wall with his rear tyre. No damage, but yeah, that just woke him up.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicky bum through there for sure. There's a lot of turns here where you can clip the back wheel and spin yourself around. Turn 18. One I normally clip. Back. Quite a bit there, but still maintain quite a bit of speed. And sector 3, our favourite sector here. Very quick, close to the walls. The Raskas and Antinogues. So important to get a good exit out of there, but not easy.
No.
Comes across the start-finish line there in 1:11.4 for Nicky. That was about the same as Sil's time, wasn't it? In Q2, I think, as Aslan Brainer 1:11.3 pips in by 10.
Yeah, no purple sectors from Baz, but he's gone fastest overall.
Very nice. Boy Williamson in the Ferrari 1:11.5. Marcel joining on 1:12.6. Top 3 all a 10th apart. Very nice, boys. Good work.
Sildovic just starting his hot lap now. I think he had an invalid. Oh, he's hit the wall at turn 1. He's going to have to do another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. He's dropped the ERS.
I mean, what do you what do you think about if you have, you know, you could do what Sil's done there? Do you just try? I mean, Mossy lost an end plate here. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Do you try and get just one banker lap in case it doesn't go well for the next couple?
Personally, no, because I prefer to be lower down the order in this race.
True, yeah.
So, but yeah, normally I'd set a lap just to get a time on the board, because other drivers might not complete a lap before they crash, and so, you know, if you've set a lap and they haven't, then you're obviously automatically going ahead of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
A track like this, DNFs or DNQs did not qualify. That's quite a common thing to see.
Yeah, indeed. Watching Xander Hermans come round Portier, turn 8, through the tunnel. I think on an out lap here, or maybe he botched up that lap he's actually currently on. I'm seeing a timer going, so he must have made a mistake somewhere. But Martin Party Cooper's gone P5 with 1:14.0 for now. Time to find, I think, for him in that lap.
Sanders about to come across the. I don't know. I'll say it's going to come across the line. He's actually on a hot lap, but it's not a hot lap.
No.
It's coming in.
Oh yeah, I can see some end plates gone. He might have done a sill and hits the outside of turn 1 there.
Yeah. First sector is 2 seconds down, so yeah, imagine it was that.
Have you seen punctures caused by debris in qualifying?
I have in the past, not recently.
No.
Yeah,
personally, I never had it happen to me.
Okay.
But certainly a track like this where the track is so narrow and a bit of debris find your car quite easily, it's a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? With drivers knocking off bits of wing at turn 1.
I'm probably going to jinx myself now, but I've never suffered a puncture through debris.
Ooh, well. Watch out, Canada.
I normally don't last long enough in a race for that, to be honest.
John Donk will be next to... It's still a bit on a lap now, actually. On an out lap, so John Donk will be next to begin a hot lap. In the Toro Rosso.
Yep.
He didn't have the race he wanted, did he, last time out in Spain?
No.
Track that he's known to be good at.
That's why I mean he's won there the previous season. Sorry, season 5. Yeah, and I pipped him to win that race again. I don't know how confident he is at that track, but yeah, it just didn't really work out. He actually had a collision with Very Deep Vein on the starting grid, more or less. It was a wet start, and I think Deep Vein just wasn't really prepared.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, did anything come of that incident at all? Do you know?
I couldn't tell you.
No. It's certainly an interesting one. I mean, I know we couldn't really decipher it from the stream point of view anyway. Again, starts in the rain are particularly difficult, especially when you're new to it all.
John's a quarter of a second down in the first sector.
Thank you. I was about to say he's purple.
Down on that's down on P1. Not too shabby though.
Yeah. So far.
34.3 in the middle. That puts him. That's the second fastest time we've seen in that middle sector.
1:12 something here.
I think it's going to be a bit quicker than that.
Oh, 1:11.9.
Oh, only a little bit.
Not close enough. I'll take it.
Still a bit purple in the first sector by more than a tenth.
Very good. Nothing looking pretty strong on this time.
A big time, yeah. Sander. Sorry, Sander. Oh yeah, big time qualifying specialist. Other drivers on hot laps as well. Boy Williamson and John Donkel looks like he's going for another one as well.
Copy that. We'll be in with them once we get still across the line. Has he gone purple in 2 as well?
He has gone purple in 2 by a long way, actually. 33.599 in the middle sector. That's more than half a second faster than Baz. This is going to be a good time.
1:10.4, almost a second quicker than Baz, then Brian in the Alfa Romeo. Awesome time from Sil there. Yeah, I must say, just riding on board with him through to back, he looked a lot more, not sort of convincing through there, I guess you could say. Just threw the car in a bit more than the other guys have been doing so far this evening.
That's the thing with Monaco. You can always tell a fast lap just by looking at the lap itself, and you don't even need to see the time.
Yeah. John Donkel goes a 1:11.5. Peter Phillip jumps up to P6 with the 1:12.4 as well.
It's a good position for Peter Phillip if he can hold on to that. Don't often see him up there at times that in quali. Oh, he's just dropped to P7 as
yeah, Zander Herman there jumped to P3 with a 1:11.4. Good time from him. And John, of course, improves. 1:11.5 now. He got knocked 3/10 off that last time he did.
Peter Phillip is going for another lap. I don't know. He's definitely not going to have enough energy in the battery to really improve. He has improved in the first sector, though.
See what he does through 2 here. Yeah, a lot of braking there through to back.
Yeah, that's considerably slower than he went last lap.
Yeah, perhaps just trying to do a fast in lap here so we can try and get one more in.
Yeah, could be, of course. Yep. No.
Oh no, okay then. Don't know what he's going for here. Maybe he's got a tyre quota to meet.
Sander Herman is coming in.
Yeah, roger that. That was very exciting. Sander Herman is in the pits.
Oh yeah.
Watch out.
Baz Brian out on a lap at the moment. He is faster than his best first sector, but still more than 2/10 down on Steele's incredible time.
2/10 was that down, sorry.
2/10, yes.
Chicane's one of those corners really nice if you get that one right.
Oh yeah. It's very good middle sector. He's only 2/10 down on that phenomenal middle sector we saw from Still,
awesome,
but he's still slow. I think this is going to be under the 1:11 mark, about a 10:7, I think.
All 11 dead. In the end for Sebastian Brian. He runs over some debris there. Hopefully, no issues for him. What else we got? Nicky's just coming around the last corner here. He's a 10th up so far. Goes P3, just pips in 1:11.1.
It's purple last sector actually from Nicky.
Boy as well coming around. I think he's on another lap now. Oh no, he cut the first corner, so that's it for Boy. As he looks to have maybe shunted the car into the wall there in anger. Knocked off some end plate.
A bit more.
Yeah, a bit more there. It's not the car's fault, mate. Go easy. You name your car, Adrian? You do a Vettel with yours?
Well, I don't name it Adrian, no.
No, okay. I'll call mine Adrian.
I'm sure you do.
I absolutely do.
But no, I tend not to name my cars. That's both my real car and my game car.
I've named my real car for sure.
Oh, of course you have.
Yeah, Chloe.
Chloe Kia.
Yeah, but it's with a K, not a C, of course.
Of course.
That wouldn't make any sense, would it? Ari Cobb actually P9 at the moment. Very good. So he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, he will.
Moving up the order. Teammate P10. Good job from Williams actually today so far.
Yeah.
The guys into Q3. They'll be happy with that because they could use some more points in the championship. They're on 7 at the moment, aren't they? Together, and Martin yet to score, I believe, so far.
Yeah, that's right. And I think Ari will be pleased to have beaten his teammate, his much more experienced teammate. Parker Cooper's been around since season 4, I think it was, his first season.
Right.
Only been here since since Singapore, season 6.
And certainly his teammates go. They seem pretty compatible in terms of race pace and lap times. But still, De Witt is on pole position. 5/10 ahead of the next guy, which is Sebastian Brian in the Alfa Romeo. Nicky Visser starts off the second row for Toro Rosso with Zander Herman behind him in the Ferrari. Boy Williamson in the second Ferrari lines up first the third row with John Donkin in the Toro Rosso P6. Also joining on row 4 for Red Bull. Peter Philip for Renault is P8, and then Ari Kopp starts off row 5 with his teammate Martin Pardy Cooper in P10. So congratulations, Adrian. Drinks on me, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah, for me there wasn't really going to be anyone else to do it.
Yeah, I must admit it was a very good call. I think he looked really good. All was he P1 in Q1 as well, or was that Zander?
No, that was
Zander or
I think it was Zander. Yeah. No, it was Boy in Q1.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. So, is it a 5-minute wait we've got until?
Yes, 5 minutes is the break until Q4. The race. I do have a weather report for you.
Okay, go ahead.
All sessions dry.
Roger that. So it's just man and machine this evening. No weather to play into their hands.
Predictions for race winner, then?
I mean, it's such a hard race to call race winner on this one. Because like you said, there's so much that can play into it. But I'm going to take your pole man call and steal seal off you. I think it could be sealed a bit.
Well, then I'm going to do the exact opposite and go with Nicky Visser for the win.
Very good. And if you call it both times, then wow.
Yeah,
I'm just going to take this break to my favour as well and just quickly grab a drink. I'll be right back.
I will do the same while we've got this moment.
And we're back from our break as well as for the drivers' breaks as we go around the circuit de Monaco for the reconnaissance lap. Seizoen leading the way. Sorry, Adrian was giving some absolutely fantastic waffle and insight, which I had muted for, so I do apologise, Adrian, publicly, mate. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. I'll keep it to myself. Don't worry.
I won't mute you for the race. Seizoen leads us away. Nice. Oh, outlap here as he drivers down. Behind him, Bastian Alfa Romeo in second. Ibiza. Toro Rosso is third. Sander Hermans for Ferrari in P4. His teammate, Boy Williamson, is P5. In P6, it's John Donkel in the other Toro Rosso. And then first of the Red Bulls, Marcel Droning, P7. As they exit the tunnel here. Peter Phillip elects not to do the reconnaissance lap by the looks of it, so he is still on the grid here. He's P8. Ari Kopp is P9. Hopefully he had no issues on his outlap there. He looks to be going quite slowly. He's right at the back of the field at the moment, but he is P9 on track. And his teammate Martin Party Cooper is P10 in the second Williams. Miguel Torni heads up the Ferrari effort in P11. Sorry, the Mercedes effort. I can't get those two teams right tonight. The Mercedes effort in P11. Very deep vein for Haas. Starts P12. Mark Stappers in the Renault is 13. Comes round to turn 18 here. Paul Quarret in the second Mercedes is P14. And then Yields Ikma in the second Haas, his first race with us tonight. Best of luck to him and the rest of the drivers. He starts 15, and Guido Urshan for Red Bull starts 16.
That's one of the things I was touching on in the my little break was Niels Ikma. He's a completely unknown entity, so I'm just curious to see how he does handle the start. Yeah,
exciting stuff. We've just got Ari to complete up the grid here as he does now. So the lights illuminate. We have 5 lights. And they're off. Seizoen leads away. Bastian Brain looks like he's got a mega start though. Gets alongside him into turn 1. It's going to be close. Seizoen just closes him off though. Closes that door. He retains P1. Sander Hermans is up 1 place. So John Donkel up 1. Nicky Miss having a bit of a start there. Adrian, I don't know if you caught what happened to Pete.
I've not. No, I've been riding at the back with Guido.
Right, so I think bogged down a bit at the start there, so his teammate and the other Ferrari of Sander Hermans jump him on the start. Boy Williamson and Marcel Droning also both down a place. What are we looking at further at the back though? Berry is up a place as well. Let me just get that change up. He's up 3 places so far up to P9. Good start from Berry here.
It looks like Peter Phillips just hit the back of Marcel Droning. There's an end plate missing on the Renault.
Okay.
Or was that actually Stappers?
Oh no, it looks like it's okay on Peter.
No, sorry, it was
wow.
It was Mark Stappers.
Yeah, he's got. It must be a red front wing there.
That was at the casino hairpin.
That's a real shame for Mark Stappers. But only lap 1, plenty of time to go in a Grand Prix where this will happen a lot, I think. How he gets on, he'll be pitting this lap.
Just noticed Stappers has changed his number to 65, was 66.
Ah, I'll take that for the next race. Apologies, Mark, I didn't realise. So your number is showing up wrong for this race. So Mark Stappers pits on P15. He comes out at the back of the field. Still a bit though, loving it so far, isn't he? 1.5 seconds to Bastian Brain behind him so far.
Yeah, I wouldn't say happy days at this moment. It's only lap 2, but yeah, it's a really convincing start. Good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. On a track where overtaking is so hard, it's nice to be able to put out a lead, isn't it, on the guys behind early doors. I did see some end plate coming off someone's car through turn 8 there. I don't know if you caught who that was.
I did not, no. I'll tell you what I did catch though. Niels Ikma just made an overtake on Miguel Torni for P13. That was just coming out of turn 4 as you come down that hill.
Oh, nice. That's a brave move.
That is.
Look at him for a sec. See how he gets on, progressing up the field. He has lost some end plate though, so that might have been his end plate I saw coming off. Around turn 8, he gets dangerously close to that Armco through to back.
Ikema sporting the number 93 at the moment.
Indeed. I've got that one right, so that's all good. Virtual safety car here as someone's had an issue. It's Miguel Tawney has lost it through the swimming pool section. So the Mercedes really not having a fun time lately.
No.
Luckily his car's been cleared fairly quickly though, so VSC should just be fairly short. And we're green again. DRS enabled as well. Handy. I wonder if they'll ever put DRS straight through the tunnel.
It's risky because of that curve.
Yeah, oh yeah, true. It's sort of cambered though, isn't it?
It is, yeah, but it's probably just because of the walls. If the walls weren't there and the corner was exactly as it is, I think it would be a DRS zone.
Still now 2 seconds ahead of Baz Denbrain, continues to pull out. Nice little lead here in the opening stages.
Really fantastic start from Steele, I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. I mean, especially with that the threat of Baz Denbrain alongside him in turn 1, he handled that really well and just to run with it after that. Like I said, only lap 4, so still plenty of time to go. 74 laps remaining here tonight.
It's another thing, isn't it, with these 100% races, it's very much a battle of attrition rather than a sort of a 5-lap sprint.
Well, yeah, especially, I mean, even more so with a track like this, where it's so much more than just driving the car around the track. You've got so much more to think about when you're confined to the, you know, just the track like this. You know, other tracks you've got, you know, areas to maybe get off the asphalt a bit, but here, if you get off of it, you're into a wall. So, a bit more going on, isn't there?
Oh, Baz Denbrain just bounced off the wall after the swimming pool.
Yeah, both end plates now missing on the Alfa Romeo. Going to hurt him a bit. What Zander thinks of that.
This is going to play into, well, if Baz had stayed out, that would have played into Seal's hands beautifully because it would have held up the entire pack behind him. But as Baz comes straight in, it's absolutely the right thing to do. Expect him to go onto the hard tyre here, which he does.
Definitely, his boy Williamson goes fastest, 1:15.4. You might even say that. I mean, even that short period that Denbrain was still out on track has helped Seal a bit. He pulled out another second, I think, just from that period of being on track with the 2 end plates missing.
Yeah, a rare mistake really there from Baz. Haven't seen many from him. I think that's the second one this season.
Yeah,
and I think the third one ever that I've seen.
Yeah, he's definitely a consistent driver. Nicky Visser though makes it up to P4. We saw him miss that overtake on Boy. I'm not quite sure where he managed that, but he now rides behind his teammate John Donkle. Also
full safety car, Dan. Full safety car.
Who have we lost? I don't know. Oh, we lost someone at the hairpin.
Oh, is it
Niels? I think it was Niels Ikema. He was going really slow at the hotel hairpin. He has got a red right front wing. I'd assume red anyway. There's a lot of it missing. And his little dot was stationary on track there as the safety car was deployed. It's one thing, isn't it? I mean, you don't need a crash sometimes. Just a car stopped on track for enough time to bring one out. I think that's what the case is with this one.
And that's right. John's in the pit as well. He's now on the hard tyre. I don't know if I didn't see a replacement wing go on that car. It looked like a very quick stop to me. So
that for John,
I don't think that was a damage. Yep. Yeah,
I don't think I could see any damage on John's car before he came in. I don't know if you spotted any.
No. No. Deeper Vein in the pit as well. Ari Kopp and Paul Correa, 3 more drivers.
Yeah.
Replacement wing on the Mercedes.
Interesting call from Ikema there to stay out with his wing condition at the moment.
Yeah, you'd have thought. you know, bearing in mind he was the one that the safety car was called for, he would have he would have come in to replace that.
Maybe he's using advantage in the sense that passing here is a bit tricky, but still that's costing a lot of time.
Yeah, and bearing in mind as well, he's starting on the soft tyres, so these tyres are actually not going to go very far anyway.
No.
Yeah, I would have definitely jumped straight onto the mediums to about the halfway point of the race, and then medium again.
Yeah, I can go with you on that one, mate. Very deep vein got a 3-second corner cutting penalty there. That one of those tricky ones where you cross over the white line and then come back into it. It gives you a penalty, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it thinks you've been on track and then cut the corner. One of the issues with sort of really such a key point of staying within the white line on the pit exit here.
Deeper Vein really struggling to manage his ERS as well, bearing in mind we're under safety car conditions. He's actually driving around in mode 3 with virtually no battery at all.
Yeah, you're going to want to start saving that pretty soon. He'll be oh, Ikema comes into the pits now. See what tyre he opts to go for here.
Hard Cooper in as well.
I think he might have served a penalty there in the pit, maybe 3 seconds. That was Berry, sorry, I don't know what he served there, but it looked like he was stopped a bit. But puts on some mediums, yeah, as you called it. So Paul Poiré, Ari Kopp playing a long game here. This is Baz Dembrayan and John Donker as well, all on the hard tyre.
Oh, John's got a 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits. How has he done that? Is that, did he cut the hairpin?
Yeah, I think he might have got too much on the curb on the hairpin there. That's harsh. Yeah. I think it seems you get penalties so much easier under the safety car than you do in racing conditions.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The past couple of races we've seen so far this season. But looking through our runners and riders here as they kind of back up onto the safety car, Sildervit still leads the way from lap 1. Sander Hermans is P2, jumping up from P4 on the grid. Good start from him. Nicky Visser still remains in P3 after his teammate pits. Boy Williamson, P4, up from P5. Marcel Droning is P5, up from, I think he's come from about P7. That's another good start from him. John Donkel, P6. Peter Phillip is P7 as he comes into the pits to change his tyres here for, I believe, mediums as well, as you said, Adrian. Guido Urshan, really good drive from him so far. I mean, no issues. And he was down the back of the grid, P16. So, P8, looking good, is Guido at the moment. Very deep vein, P9. Martin Party Cooper is 10 with Ari Kopp 11. Paul Poiré 12. Mark Stappers 13. Nils Ikema 14. And Peter Phillip 15, with Miguel Tawney being our only retirement so far.
Dinky Vein still got no batteries, still is just leaving it in mode 3. I wonder, because F1 tonight we run we don't allow automatic ERS. I wonder if Berry is aware of that and has to actually manage it himself. I've got a feeling he's going to be in mode 3 for the entire race.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that one. I mean, of all tracks to kind of not know that, it's probably the best one.
Yeah.
But still, it's going to hurt him in defensive battles tonight. Oh no, he's got that to 0 now, so I think he might have heard us.
Hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So he's in 0 now, so he's safe from that ARS. Safety car probably this lap, if not next. No, in this lap, here we go. He'll have to see how he handles the restart here. A bit slippery there out of the exit of anti-nodes. Not so bad. It'll do for the moment. thought he caught Zander napping at just the right time there, because he almost let him catch up to him, stop, and then go again, but wasn't quite enough.
No, I was going to say, Zander seems to be right on his gearbox after the restart.
Yeah. Absolutely, certainly didn't catch him napping.
It's just so difficult to actually make an overtake. What Zander's got to do really is just keep that pressure applied.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, that's what you can do really, isn't it? And hope they kind of make a mistake off your pressure.
Yeah, I mean, because all it will take is one quick look in the rear view mirror or in the you know, the wing mirrors. You know, as you're coming into this section in particular, and you bounce off the wall and lose an end plate, and that's it. You have to pit.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, even so much as thinking about it can
Yes.
can be an issue around this track.
Or very close to that wall on the inside of Anthony Noakes there.
Yeah, it's funny. When it's almost like, I don't know about you, when you kind of get into a flow of this track, you just kind of unbeknownst to you get so close to the walls.
Yeah.
Without even really realising it. And if you look back on a replay, you just realise like you're millimetres away, but don't have a clue.
How the hell did I do that?
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like if you watch some of those old Senna clips and go around, it almost looks like his tyres go through the walls. Those cars being so wide back in the 80s.
Yep. Bits are right on the back of Sana Hermans as well, applying the pressure to him.
Yeah, still now starting to reopen up that lead again now, 1.2 seconds between those front runners. So far, I mean, sorry Adrian, go ahead.
I was just going to say, nobody is underfueled at this moment, from what I can see, which is quite unusual for this circuit. There's not many places really where using rich mix will actually benefit you. You're much better off. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, boy, getting a bit sideways there. Awesome save with the swimming pool, almost hit the wall, but keeps it on track. He might have to be in that chair after the race here tonight. But yeah, you're right, aren't you? There's really nowhere to benefit much from Rich, is there? So you can really underfill the car. I'm not personally being one to do it. And we just leave it in whatever Jeff says.
I started the race with minus 10 laps to fuel on Tuesday.
And any difficulty saving that?
No, none at all. I managed to even out by lap 50. And that wasn't in lean the whole way. I was actually using Rich for some of it as well.
Wow. And do you find that really benefits you in any particular phase of the race, or just throughout?
No, throughout the whole thing. The tyre wear, I was, it was really minimal. And the tyres just felt really good all the way up until the pit stop. Probably could have done another 10, 15 laps on them before pitting.
Nice. Of course, just a lighter car, less weight on the wheels.
Yeah.
And how much fuel do you know how much weight you actually save by taking out minus 10 laps?
How much time you save?
How much weight do you save? You know?
Yes, it's. I think it's 15 kilos. I think it's 1.5 kilos for every lap.
Right. Okay.
Off the top of my head, it's quite a short lap.
Yes, I mean in Formula 1 terms, quite a lot of weight.
Yes. It equates to about what's that? 0.75 seconds every lap.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of time. Zander setting the fastest up now, starting to reel Seal back in. Still on lap 12. Hell, the laps don't fly around this track, don't they?
They do. They're only 1 minute. What are they doing now? 1 minute 14.7 is the fastest lap we just saw set. No, those 78 laps really will fly by. They don't necessarily fly by in the car.
No, absolutely not.
I have to say. A couple of conversations with Jack Wilson, my teammate. We were talking about we're not even a quarter of the way through the race. we were getting a bit knackered.
Did you manage to get comms working for this race in the end?
Yes, we did. Fortunately, yeah. Okay, comms were back on. Yeah, really do need it. So important to be able to speak to your teammate.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, this so far.
Oh, sorry. Stapper's just made a really ballsy overtake on Paul Carey. I think he actually collided with him at the Nouvelle chicane. He just sort of dived right down the, well, I suppose the outside of the left-hander. He virtually went straight on, in actual fact. But there was certainly contact with Carey's Mercedes. I wonder if Carey's coming in. He is not. No, he looks like he's actually escaped with.
Yeah, I'm just looking now. I can't see any damage on those cars you mentioned.
Yeah, no, there's no damage. There was certainly some contact.
There's a real sort of close group here, P12 to 15, isn't there? These guys running pretty close.
Yeah.
Oh, I did see some end plate just flying around there around turn 3. I think that might come off.
Yeah, I keep seeing some random end plates floating about.
Oh yeah, I am seeing an end plate off of Corey's car. I'm not sure if we lost that there or if it was from that contact with Dappers that you mentioned. Yeah, the left side end plate missing from that Mercedes.
Yeah. Well, no, he didn't pass him on the left side, so I'm not too sure. Ari Kopp with a 3-second penalty. Niels Eekma with the same just prior to that.
Yeah, Levi Chicane I think's caught them out there. Oh, he's really slowing down here actually. Through sector 3, he has lost his left end plate. Oh wow, he actually knows he's got a lot of damage on the left hand side. Yeah, so he'll be pitting. That would explain the pace there for him. Still seems to kind of ignored that pressure from Zander then momentarily, and now 2.3 seconds out in front of him again. He's really looking strong tonight, isn't he, Sil?
Oh yeah, yeah, big time. I think the fact that I think if De Bruyne was there, he might be feeling the pressure a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he seems to be fully composed and controlled.
I mean, even with Baz behind him, he was still pulling out a decent gap, wasn't he? So all challenges he's kind of pushing away at the moment.
He, in fact, you could say he forced a mistake from Baz.
Yeah, you could.
Baz tends not to push too hard early on, I've noticed. So perhaps he was just happened to be pushing then, and the tyres just weren't up to temperature, perhaps. Hence his collision with the wall.
I think there might have been a bit of a, not perhaps a coming together, but a close call between Hardy Cooper and Deeper Vein through La Rascasse. I saw their dots very close together on the track, and then Martin was going very slow. Or he just hits the outside of turn 3. Not sure if that's cost him any parts.
I think that was just the wheel that made contact, actually.
I think his end plate might have come off on the right hand side. I don't know if it's from that or if it's from an earlier.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, right end plate missing.
Yeah, no apologies. Yeah, no, well done.
On that one.
It was a lovely view there, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's some wicked views. I noticed in the UK race they were getting some awesome heli views through sector 3. We'll try and get some of those tonight, but yeah, some really good camera angles through this track. Oh, Martin going right on through the Noble chicane, 10-second penalty. Fairly given, I think, in that instance. He just drove straight through that one.
Oh dear, well, that is a big move from Niels Eekma.
Oh! I don't know if he's crossed up as much there. End plate's come off for sure. Yeah,
I think that was the end plate of the Renault from Stappers that was flying there. That was a really big, ballsy move from the new guy.
Oh, it's oh wow, Paul Corey
just he was stopped on track. Caused a bit of a chain reaction.
Yeah, Mark Stappers luckily getting into the pits. Sorry, yeah, Mark Stappers getting into the pits before that. Before he missed the opportunity. Now going on the lap with that damage. Yeah, I need to stick with Eekma. He seems to be making a lot of moves tonight. I keep missing him.
He's trying to make a name for himself.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, that damage is quite significant actually. I think he's got at least a red front wing there on him.
I'm curious as to why Carey was parked at Rascasse.
yeah, I mean, like, maybe he thought. I know personally. That's that corner a bit there on turn 7. Personally, Raskas, if you get that entry wrong, it almost feels like you might not hit it, but you feel like you're going to hit the exit wall. I don't know. Maybe he felt like that was the case and just, you know, broke hard to stop the car from doing that.
Possibly. Where he actually stopped is actually some way from the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, only he will know why he did it, but certainly caused enough problems behind him. Got an awful lot of damage, luckily, on Paul's car, so he can still carry on here, and he's got the hard tyres on, so he'll be going for a long distance stint at the moment. As Guido exits the pits, medium tyres. Was he on the softs originally, or was he?
Stand by. I don't think he was.
No, okay.
No, Guido was on mediums, now on mediums again.
Got Hass in the pits, probably Ikma, yep. Yeah, it's on mediums again. This would put Mark Stappers to P14. I'm not sure if he'll be happy to be in front of him or not. One of the passes he's going for tonight.
Sorry, did we spot that Still had come in?
Nope.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sorry, yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right.
I was looking at something else. You were looking at something else. I wasn't sure if you'd mentioned it.
No, I hadn't. No. Thank you. Yeah, so Sil comes in. The halves. Do you think he'll be on this now for the rest of the race?
They can do 50 laps.
Yeah. He did start on the soft, didn't he? Or was it medium?
He started on the soft. Yeah, soft tyre, wasn't it?
Question myself now. Was it medium?
No. No, it was medium. Sorry.
That's
medium, quite quite an early stop then. That was a really early stop, in fact, for the medium tyre.
No, I don't know if he damaged his car at all, and that's why he's done that move. Yeah, and unfortunately we missed that one.
Paul Cray and Guido Urshan both in the pit. Paul Cray's gone for the intermediate tyre.
Yeah, interesting call there. I mean, I can't see any rain on my screen.
Me neither. Unless Jeff's telling him something that we don't know.
I mean, unless it's going to flash flood in the next minute. I don't think Paul's made the right call here.
No. We'll see what his lap time's like. He's already hit the wall as he comes out of the pit lane.
Yeah, red right from wing there. I think he might be ghosting. Yeah, he's certainly not in. He's not with us, if you like.
I don't think he's with it at the moment.
No. Oh, is he? Is AI? Oh no, now he's back. Fixed his car left, right, and centre. Weird that Guido came in again. I guess he got wing damage because he's now come from a medium stop back into the pits now on new soft tyres.
Yep. Oh, okay. That's peculiar.
Running P8 earlier on this race. Himself down the back of the field again, unfortunately now. Ikma lining up Stappers for a pass potentially soon, so we'll definitely stick with him. A lot of cars ghosting at the moment. I don't know if you're getting the same thing on your screen.
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah, a lot of the guys down the back. The front runner seems to be doing okay. What do you think about Sil's strategy? Do you think it plays into the hands of the likes of Nicky and Boy up the front?
Yes, I'd have thought so, yeah. I wouldn't say that Sil's throwing it away at all by any means. Like I said, those hard tyres, they will go to the end. But it's quite a lot harder now, now that he hasn't got that track position. It's a very, very early stop from Sil. Yeah, be curious to see why that was.
Yeah, I mean, around a track like this, I guess we can only assume it's down to wing damage. Oh, Ikma's out.
Ikma.
Not sure where we've lost him on the track there. Oh, around turn 3. Try and get on board one of the Toro Rossos quickly and catch that. His car's still, it used to look like it was still going in a ghosted state there.
The VSC
with bury deeper vein and see if we can catch that again. But yeah, as you rightly said, VSC deployed. His car's despawned.
Paul's back on the hard compound tyre.
Okay. And also back to reality. I don't think there's any rain on the cards. at the moment. So Nicky Visser leads this race so far, 4.2 seconds to Boy Williamson behind him. Interesting, I guess Zander Herman's also pitted around the same time as Sil. They made the same call there, because Zander was P2, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. Was Sander on the soft combat? No, Sander was on the medium as well.
I wonder if these two have hit each other at some point. Although Sil looked like he was, I mean, he was at least 2-3 seconds in front of Sander last time I saw him.
Yeah. Sander's now found himself in a really bad situation because he's got the slower, arguably, driver of very deeper vein who's on very, fairly old soft tyres, so he will be losing time because of Berry here. But Berry is entitled to maintain that position, of course. It's just Sander's bad luck that he's come out of the pit and behind him. That's inherently the case at Monaco. You come out of the pits and you're stuck behind a driver until he pits. So that is why it's always better to go for the hardest tyre to begin.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like like we've seen tonight, there are places where you can attempt overtakes, but very few where you can guarantee a successful move. I mean, probably the safest one is probably turn 1, really, where you can almost use the DRS to try and get alongside and ahead of that car. Almost try and make the move done before you get to the turn, really. I mean, there aren't many turns where you can use braking zones to get past the car in front besides an over chicane, really, if you really want to give that a go.
Monaco isn't a typical racetrack as such. I mean, it was built in 1923 or 26, I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, you say built, they decided to use these streets.
Well, yeah, they first raced here in 29. When the cars were much slower back then. But so Herman's nearly into the back of deeper vein. But yeah, this is one of the very few tracks that has changed
safety car deployed. Sorry, I don't know who that's for. That's for Mark Stappers who just retired. Up at turn 5.
And the safety car just completely cut up Paul Carret. Paul Carret is allowed to pass the safety car, which he does, because that safety car will just stop on track until the leader comes around.
Yeah.
We don't want a repeat of Brazil last season, where big queue of drivers were just parked on track.
Yeah, I mean, stopped in a really annoying place as well. Right in the middle of the track, more or less. But yeah, Mark Stappers crashing into the wall there at turn 5.
Nicky and Boy both in the pit under this, in the safety car period, both. Marcel Dronig as well.
This is quite good for Marcel, because this kind of plays, I mean, he's almost mirroring the leader's strategies right now, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he was running P3, so arguably Marcel droning on for perhaps a maiden penalty this season, and if not in F1 tonight, Netherlands. I don't know if he's been on the podium before.
He has been on the podium, Dronig.
Very good. Well, perhaps on for another one tonight.
Sil just came in again. He's on the medium tyre now. Now these mediums will go to the end if he's very underfueled, but he's not very underfueled. But he's not underfueled at all by the looks of it.
Yeah. I mean, Nicky Visser getting really fortunate out of that pit stop. Retains P1.
Yeah.
Toro Rosso's running 1-2 here tonight so far, looking really good.
Worked out beautifully for them. Although John hasn't pitted, he pitted early on for the hard tyres. That was during the first safety car. He won't lose too much, very much like Dunbrian, won't lose too much by not pitting with 17, 18 lap old hard tyres.
Those two have slotted in between, haven't they, Visser and Williamson?
Yeah. Because it's unlikely that it will have another fresh set of hards to go on to right now, so yeah, there's absolutely no point him coming in.
If we just look at the stops so far, Paul Quarry on 3. And then Guido Urshan up to Sildavita on 2. And then the top 5 all on 1 each. Which they've made, I believe, well, Boy and Baz made earlier on in this race, almost on lap 1, I think. Actually not that far, not that early, but much earlier on. And then Marcel, John and Nicky all in on the last lap.
You say John Donkel's made 1 stop?
According to my screen, yes.
Okay. At this point in the race last season, he had made 4 stops.
Wow.
And by the end of the race, he had made 16, which is still an F1 Tonight record in both leagues.
Yeah, that'll be hard to beat.
In that same race, actually, another driver made 11 stops. That was also a new record. Well, it would have been a new record if it had not been for John.
Yeah.
7 was the record before that.
Right. 16 is quite the achievement.
Well, he still finished the race.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as long as you finish the race, who cares how many times you stop the car?
I think he only did about 64 of the 78 laps, but he still finished.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and John Donkel matching Az's strategy so far, so he's not really under threat per se in that sense.
10-second penalty, by the way, for Paul Correa. I think he just cut the Nouvelle chicane, just went straight on. Right,
yeah. Cost you. Which I guess he's doing probably on purpose because he wants to catch up with the back of the pack here.
Well, that may be.
Oh, sorry, that was actually Mars. Is that Guido that's right at the back actually? Out of place. Oh, careful! Oh, the two. Oh wow, it's a right bunch up here. What's Nicky? Go, go, go!
Got a 5-second penalty for Bezdin Bree and severe collision with John Donkel.
Yeah,
down to P3.
That was a really scruffy restart there. Not necessarily Nicky's fault, but the guys just he kept them going. I don't know if he had to do it, but they were all going very slowly, even after Anthony Nogues down the main straight. And
by that point,
the top 5, they've all took damage.
By that point, you expect the field to be accelerating. So
yeah,
that can it's really take you by surprise. Deeper Veins just passed Baz Denbrain at turn. I think that's turn 5.
Oh, very nice. I don't know if Baz was one that. I mean, he would have been actually one that suffered from that restart because he was behind John, wasn't he? And just looking at his car now, he looks like he's got a red right front wing. I've said that about 5 times this race so far. That's in that tongue twister a bit there as Martin Pardekiv gets past. And Brain letting a few drivers past here whilst he can.
Yeah, Baz doing the sensible thing there. There's no point defending when your car physically can't defend.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicky carries on leading this race then. Roy Williamson, of course, jumping John Donkel there on that rookie restart for those guys.
John in the pit. Yeah. And this is going to be awkward for John now because the medium tyre will be difficult to make it last to the end. But he won't have his fresh set of hards to put on, so he's got kind of no choice. He's going to have to manage these tyres as much as he can to the end. What I really want to see is another safety car, and it will just negate that problem completely.
Yeah, definitely. And again, highly likely around this track. Still a bit though benefiting from that sort of clumsy restart there. He's up to P4 now.
Yeah, and look at the situation that Seal's in now. He's on 3-lap-old medium tyres, and all the 3 drivers ahead of him are on 3-lap-old hard tyres that can make it to the end.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, big mistake there from Marcel.
Yeah, almost collected still in that one.
Yeah, Seal did well to react as quickly as he did.
Yeah, certainly did. Yeah, this battle develops at the front end as well because Nicky's not quite leaving Williamson behind at the moment, is he? Looking pretty close together right now.
No, these 2 drivers are used to driving very close together in races. As I said, they were teammates last season.
Yeah, definitely.
And they were frequently 1 and 2.
I'm doing the same again tonight, albeit in different cars for both of them.
Yeah, I don't think last season Boy really applied any kind of pressure to Nicky. Bearing in mind he was his teammate. It's a completely different scenario now, where Boy is going. He's all out for himself, really, because he's leading the championship. Nicky is a championship rival.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed he is. Still got bits sideways out of turn 8. Portier there. Lost a bit of time to Marcel, but not too much. Okay, it's one of those scenarios where being on the softer tyres won't really do much for you.
No.
Except for me, you've got a pit before the rest of the guys in front.
Oh, sorry, Nicky's just lost an end plate. It just bounced off the wall just before Razkaz.
Ooh, okay.
Definite end plate come flying
I
off
can see that.
Of that Toro Rosso. Hashtag Boy Williamson to win.
Hashtag you can't change your mind now.
Hashtag please.
Hashtag no. hashtag. Best fans. Hashtag
Still de Rit is really up the backside now of Marcel Droning. He I think he's losing patience.
Yeah, I was just saying. I was just thinking. Same thing as that. Yeah, sort of. He's almost putting his car in places where he's saying, I want to get past you here, but you're too slow. Yeah, nice exit out of turn 8 there. Could maybe give something going. The no rush chicane here.
Yeah, may do it. I'll hold on to see if he does. What's anything?
Ooh. Nope. It looked to make the move there, but decided better of it.
Yep. See, that's what you're supposed to do there, Josh Diggles.
I thought I'd let you say that. I was about to. That's how you do it, and let the person in front still keep P3.
That's right, yeah, it's for the same position as well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Almost mirror image.
Like, you almost feel like, I don't know. Oh, well, actually, no. I mean, I was going to say you almost feel like Marcel should have let him pass, but then it's a P3.
Nope. Yeah, no, there's no
way.
No obligation to let the driver pass, and that's what you often find at Monaco. As I said earlier on, you end up with these situations where you've got potentially a faster driver behind on faster tyres, but is still very slippery out of that turn there. But yeah, you find yourself behind slower drivers on harder tyres and any other circuit, and you just zoom past them. But because it's Monaco, it's very, very difficult to overtake, and you just end up getting held up so much.
Yeah, position being still De Witt in at the moment as he pokes his car out into the clean air there to say, I'm looking to get past you, Marcel. Ari Cops retired.
Oh no, where was that?
I'm not sure. Well, I've lost him in the tunnel section, actually. Interesting, we see a VSC for this one. It looks like it could be full safety car conditions. Sander Herman's going to be passing the car in a sec here. Yeah, on the right-hand side there, you can see his car.
Fernando Alonso moment there.
Yeah. Maybe hit the exit, the tunnel, and lost that left front tyre. Same Ferrari.
Just
Good
prior
effort.
to that, sorry to interrupt you there.
Out of order. Carry on.
I was just going to say, just prior to that incident, Paul Cray had another 10-second penalty, I believe, for cutting the Nouvelle chicane again. And has got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so not a good day for Correa.
No, he's not loving it. Martin Party Cooper and Zander Herman coming out right next to each other there. The Zander maintains P8 ahead of Party Cooper in 9. Non-local drive-through penalty, that's a nightmare under the VSC.
And he picked it up at just the virtual safety car ended just as he approached the hairpin, which is possibly the worst thing that can happen. Yeah. Because what happens with the delta times is it drops drastically in the corners and only slightly on the straights. So if you're approaching that corner from the straight, you think, oh, look, the delta's not really going down very much. I can sort of do my normal pace. And then as you come to that corner, it expects you to do, rather than 30 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour around it.
Yeah.
And by that point, the safety car had ended, and it's just counted that as a penalty because your delta is too low.
Yeah, it's one of the worst ones to get. But just worth noting here, a couple of things going on right now. Sil de Wit appears to have been, I think, let pass by Marcel Drone. I caught it, just it happened. Next thing, Anthony Nogues. Marcel almost moved aside to let Sil through down the start-finish straight. And then Nicky Visser has also stopped from the lead of the race. So that puts Boy Williamson out in front for now. And Nicky also on the soft tyre as well, interestingly.
Yeah, well, that's definitely not going to last. So I don't want to say that's Nicky's race over, but I don't... Oh, no, well, he needed to replace the wing, didn't he? He needed to replace his wing after that mistake.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He didn't have another fresh set of hard tyres. Ideally, it just... The pit crew would allow him to keep the same set of tyres on, but you can't do that in this game, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
So instead, it's forced him to put a fresh set of softs on, which he'll have to come off in about 18 laps or so, and then go on to the mediums to the end. Yellow flags in sector 1. I don't know who that's for.
Looks sort of cleared now. I think we're green again. Still, though, immediately going fastest on track. Now haven't got past Marcel. Interesting as well, very deep evade, P4 at the moment on the hard tyre.
Yeah, great stuff.
Again, I mean, what's he got? 46 laps to go on 9-lap-old tyres, so it'll be close.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't push too hard, and I don't think he is. He should be okay. But then he's going to have an angry Nicky Visser behind him for at least the next. Well, if he doesn't pass him, at least the next 15 laps. Yeah. Which will feel like an eternity.
Yeah, it will, especially defending for that long. Martin Cooper comes into the pit now. And releases Dembrain P10.
Oh, sorry, very deep of vein. He just bounced off of the left side. Just as you come out the tunnel. Yeah. Coming down the hill, just bounced off of that left-hand corner. He just took it too soon, and this is. Nicky's just got to wait, and he'll pass when he comes in the pit. Yeah.
Sorry, Barry. I feel like commentator's curse on that one.
Do you believe in the commentator's curse?
Indeed. My hearties. So Nicky Visser then back to P4 on the soft tyre. Will be quickly in the mirrors, I think, of Marcel Droning. We continue on this race this evening. F1 tonight, Netherlands. The Monaco Grand Prix, round 6 of season 7. And at the moment, Boy Williamson leading the way. A pretty interesting race we've had tonight so far. 4 DNFs as it stands. Not bad, all things considered, really. Almost halfway distance now. Still 12 runners and riders going on here at the moment. And, I mean, I don't know how many winners we've got potentially lined up at the moment. But there's a few people that could be in with a shot of winning this right now, I think. Yeah, Sildovich really quickly caught the back of Boy Williamson, hasn't he?
Yes.
Just
he was doing.
Again.
He gained 2.3 seconds on him on that lap. So 14.3 compared to a 16.6.
Yeah, that's impressive. So he's so much quicker through these that kind of windy sector 1, 3 and 4. Paul Quarry gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's a race to forget for Paul Quarry, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it's not been fun for him or Mercedes in general, unfortunately.
He just come in on the lap before. He was on brand new soft tyres, and now he's in again, and they've put old medium tyres back on the car.
Yeah, that's now stop number 7 for Paul. And what does Sil do now? Obviously he knows he's got the pace. It's a difficult move to make.
Boy's just got a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings.
I think that was cutting 15 there. Or 16, sorry.
If I was still, I'd probably. Well, if I was still, I'd probably just sit here. But
Yeah,
I'm not.
love
I'm not
P2.
still. Still is still, and the still is going to go for the overtake.
Yeah. Yes, I thought he was going to have a little look there, actually.
I don't know where he'd do it. He might do it into Nouvelle.
Yeah, I mean, of all the places, Nicky Visser, they're going fast as 140 dead.
That's a. Oh, a deeper veins out.
Ooh! What's deeper vein?
That's.
Full safety car, worse than over chicane.
Yeah, that's the same corner that he bounced off of previously. He's hit it a bit
Yeah, he's
harder
done the
this
same
time.
thing, yeah. Ah, it's a real shame to lose him. He's running so well as well.
Yeah.
Another safety car then. What will the leaders do to come out the tunnel here?
Well, I think this is probably. This is played into Nicky Visser's hands better than anyone else, I would say, because he can now go on to. He's actually got the option of going on to the medium tyre. Doesn't even have to go back onto his old, partly worn hard tyres. He can go onto fresh mediums and comfortably go to the end of the race.
Yeah.
The ones ahead of him, they're kind of in no man's land at the moment because Boy won't want to pit because he's pitting anyway. He's done 12 laps on the hard tyre. Yeah, he's going to go to the mediums. That's probably the best thing that he can do. Oh no, he's put old mediums on his car. They're 22 laps old.
Oh, no, 0 laps old.
Oh, okay. They were still, for a moment.
They were 22, yeah. That would have been nasty for him there.
Yeah.
Silvervet collects the safety car here. He leads the race once again.
Yeah, I think Sil's the one that's lost out the most from this safety car just because of the awkward time when it's actually come.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one.
This is the ideal spot to, or the ideal lap, really, to pit for the medium tyres. But Sil's already on the medium tyres. They're 13 laps old. He can pit in again. But if he was going to, I probably would have done it on the last lap. Because if he does it now, he will certainly lose track position to Boy, to Nicky, and maybe to Guido as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky spot to be in for Sil at the moment.
The safety car comes very close to that left-hand wall.
These drivers having the race of their own. I wonder what it's like being a safety car driver. They just say, oh, God, I really want to get close to the, the barriers. Yeah, look how close it gets to 13 and 14.
Yeah. I imagine it is a lot of fun to drive that.
Yeah.
What is it? SLR?
SLS.
SLS.
Yeah. Or I think that this one's actually an AMG GT. Ladies AMG GT. Yes, I think.
Okay.
The old one was an SLS with the older shape version of that car, but this one's, I believe, the GT. It's got the gold wing doors like the old one did.
No other drivers in the pit by the looks of it.
No,
although we've actually got sort of 5 more coming round. Now starting with Peter Phillip. Nope.
Yeah, John Donkel doesn't. Obviously Baz will stay out as well.
Yeah, again, Baz is another one that's not worked out well, this safety car.
Yeah, Martin stays out again. And Paul Correa out of place here, it sort of mixed in with P1 and P2. But he is currently running P12. 4 minutes behind Martin Party Cooper at the moment.
See how the safety car restart goes then with Sil leading.
I mean, the benefit he's got now is he's always got a buffer in Paul Quarry being there, because I mean, I believe in real life Paul would have the option to unlap himself now.
Yes.
But
yes.
in this game, once the safety car's moving, you don't have an option of that, do you? You have to stay behind it.
No, quite right. It looks like Paul's actually paused at the moment anyway, so I think his AI will just obey the blue flag pretty much immediately.
Yeah. Still though, Still's going to have a sort of nice buffer in that Mercedes being there, isn't he? To sort of pull away here.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can see the gap on the times there. It's 1.4 or 2.4 actually.
Yeah.
As opposed to 0.8 to the next driver.
Yeah. Yeah, the safety car doing another lap here is Martin Party Cooper joining the back of the queue here. Maybe just one another lap behind the safety car.
Yeah, those soft runners at the back there, I would have certainly pitted in for the mediums on that lap.
Yeah, it's strange that
nothing
they've
to gain.
No, exactly, yeah. So I mean, looking at people that have got to stop again, we've only really got. I mean, has John Donkel got to stop again? I mean, he's got 40 laps to go, hasn't he? I mean, it's going to be a lot of laps on those hards.
Yeah, he'll have to stop again.
So I mean, he's really the only one besides the soft runners that have got to stop again.
Yep.
In this Grand Prix, obviously that's, you know, hitting the walls and everything else out of the way. Just looking at the tyres, they're the only guys that have got to stop.
John's actually had 2 stints on that same set of hard tyres.
Yeah. Yeah, I did think that actually, because he used them a bit at the beginning, didn't he? Before stopping for, I think, soft tyres for a little bit.
That was it.
With the safety car coming in this lap, just quickly, we'll run through our runners and riders here as the order they stand. Seizoen leading the way for this Grand Prix right now. Marcel Droning having a good time, up 5 places in P2. Boy Williamson up 2 places in P3. Nicky Visser down 1 in P4 for the moment. Guido Urshan up 11 places so far. Really good stuff from him, P5. Peter Philip P6 up 2 places. John Donkel's down 1 in 7. Asden Brain down 6 so far in P8. Zander Herman's down 5 in P9. And Pardy Cooper still in the same place he started, P10. So good stuff from him. Paul Poire up 3 after the DNFs so far. He's 11, but Seizoen getting, as we thought, a nice getaway.
Yeah, great start. Dronig penalty for cutting turn 1 there. Easily done.
The bane of most drivers' races around here, I think, is turn 1 for getting a penalty.
Yep. Boy Williamson wants to get past Dronig so desperately.
Well, yeah, especially to keep the pressure on Sil. Yep. We saw Marcel was sort of, I guess you could say, holding up. I mean, not intentionally, but just Sil was stuck behind him for a couple of laps early on in this race and losing time to Zander Hermans, who I think was leading the race at that moment in time. Similar-ish scenario going on right now.
The thing is, if Bill, who knows Bill?
Who's Bill?
Bill Williamson.
His play come off from.
Yeah, who was that? Who was
it wasn't
that?
Paul. I presume it was Paul Poire. Sorry, it wasn't Sil. I would assume Paul Poire has lost that. Yeah, goes to the pits now.
What was I saying? Bill.
Yeah, Bill Williamson.
Yeah, even if Boy Williamson doesn't overtake Dronig, it's not the end of the world because Sil will have to come in again. But what Boy's got to try and hope is that he doesn't get too far ahead of Dronig. That's the issue here.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, is he going to do it?
Ooh.
No.
Having a look. It's only gonna get worse for Boy, really, because he's gonna have Nicky all over him soon. Well, now, in fact. Guido Urshan's getting in the mix. Peter Philip as well. John Donkel not far behind him. Asden Brain, Zander Herman, big names all in this queue right now, just to have a go at Marcel Droning at the front.
Marcel must be really feeling the pressure at the minute.
Well, I mean, fair play to the guy. All race so far, he's kind of had this pressure on. He's not really looked phased too much by it since we started. I mean, the only time I saw him sort of crack is if is when he let Seizoen pass.
Yeah. To be fair, he does it really smooth as he drives around, despite being on, fairly worn tyres. They're still well within their window.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just looks comfortable.
He does, yeah. Especially having the championship leader right up his bum. That's never fun.
got the championship leader behind you, and then behind him is the current champion.
Yeah, and second place in the championship.
Yellows in 3. That is a Mercedes. That's got to be Paul Correa.
Yeah. I think there's a guy we're going really slow on the start thing. Oh, complete front wing loss there for Paul Correa. I would only assume that's coming out of Anthony Noves.
Yeah.
He had that problem.
Cuts turn 1 as well. That's another 3-second penalty. I have to have a look at his penalty total. Actually, it's got to be.
It's going to be pretty high.
Pretty high, yeah.
Just looking at the gaps though, after this restart, which happened, what, 2 laps ago now? Still a bit, 6 seconds now, ahead of Marcel Droning in P2, who's got a very angry Ferrari, only 2 tenths behind him. I say angry, very red, I could say. Not red is ring mirrors for Marcel Droning, but like we said, for a man under pressure, doesn't really show it.
No.
Okay, well, looks pretty good at the moment, does Marcel.
Breen just come in the pit. Was on 15 lap old mediums. He's surely going to go on to just another fresh set of mediums to the end.
All 4 lap olds at the moment I'm seeing.
Oh, and it's a new wing as well.
Yeah, quite a few little I don't want to say mistakes, but a couple of little, issues for Baz today with his front wing, hasn't he?
Yeah,
but
just
not
a few.
not I think we've seen his character often, is it?
No, not at all.
Bulgari pits. Sort of it continues to stretch out his lead, 6.5 seconds now.
36 seconds was the penalty total so far.
36, wow. And has he served any of those, do we know? I'd assume some of them have been done.
A 5-second drive-through was served, yes.
Okay. But is that still 36 after that one as well?
No, sorry, that includes that one.
Right, okay.
31.
Yeah, it's not a good day at the office for Paul Correa, unfortunately. Oh, I mean, this is. I mean, Still's going to be loving this.
Yeah, this is the best possible thing that can happen.
Yeah, right now, because
Still
like
at the moment,
before, he wasn't enjoying, this race. You could have said he was in probably. He came off the worst, didn't he, of that most recent safety car.
Yeah.
Now he's got Marcel Droning.
Oh, Droning very wide at the hairpin. Oh, he got away with that.
Yeah. Luckily, not the easiest place to pass the car in front for Marcel there, so he maintains P2 for now.
Droney's got no energy in the battery. He's really used it all to maintain this position here. I think Boy's going to have it.
There he's not. Where he's going to do it now though, because he needs to keep right on the back of him to try and get a chance of having it through turn 1.
Turn 1, yeah, turn 1 I think.
Stay on board with him. That.
Oh, we've lost Peter Phillip and Sander Hermans.
Oh, down the swimming pool.
That's at the same. Yeah, that was. I
That's
think they've collided.
I think looks like they've come together. That's got to be a safety car for sure, hasn't it? Then again, it's Codemasters, so I don't think it's going to be. Who would have seen it by now? So, no safety car. Just can't work this game out.
Sorry, Droning's lost the 2 places to Boy and to Nicky as well while we were looking at the incident between the Renault and the Ferrari.
So now the advantage swings back the other way. Already playing into Boy Williamson's and Nicky Visser's favour. Their younger tyres. Sort of it surely will have to pit again. Real shame to lose both Sander Hermans and Peter Phillip though together there.
Yeah, yeah, big shame.
They were looking pretty good. I mean, Renault were having, well, qualifying was pretty good. They were looking like a race was going to be good as well for Peter Phillip at least. It's unfortunate for them.
That's going to be good news for Bastian Brien and for Alfa Romeo. That one of the Ferrari drivers won't be scoring points.
Yeah, that at least sort of puts the 2 teams on level pegging now with only 1 driver apiece. Certainly Ferrari will be looking to close that gap nicely tonight, though, at the moment as it stands. Paul Quarry, though, benefits off this. He will inherit P9 at some point. And
in about 5.5 minutes time.
Yeah. And obviously that's good for them because Miguel Torni is no longer running in this race. That'll get their points total up from 9 to 11.
I think Paul Craig's still ghosted. I think he's paused.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks to be the case. Sildovic's gap now starting to tumble. Was 8.5, I think, now 7.5 seconds to Boy Williamson behind.
And that's the thing as well. Boy's got that in his advantage is that he doesn't have to necessarily push so hard. He's just got to stay out and stop still from getting a full pit stop ahead, which is that's not a very difficult thing to do, you'd imagine, for Boy.
No, it won't be. Do we think Sil will have to pit again?
Yes.
So would you,
yeah,
if you were Sil, would you stop sooner with this gap rather than later? And just hope to come out as close to the guys behind you as you can in case they have any issues?
No, I would stay out as long as possible, because if you pit now, you've given up the position.
Yeah.
If you pit later, something may happen to Boy or to Nicky. Yeah, exactly, and that gives you a free one. So yeah, no, better off to stay out until as late as possible.
Yeah, very good call. Taking they just came very nicely there, Sildovic.
Sil seems to really love this track.
Yeah, he does. He's really owned it really since we got going 46 laps ago now. I'll just have a look at the YouTube comments, see what we've got going on in there whilst we run around with Nicky Visser. Sildovic, stream looks sounds great. Thanks, Sil. I don't know how you're doing that whilst driving the car around, mate.
Thanks for it. Might have a family member to type it for him or something.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. What else we got? I think someone's been being a bit naughty in the chat. Eddie's on top of that. Thank you, Eddie. What else?
I'm going to have a look at that now.
No, it's been deleted, so you can't see it.
Okay, good.
Ryan Lear saying to be different from, I think, mine and your choices on the winner. Boy Williamson for the win from Ryan, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Looking good so far, mate, I think.
Yeah.
What else? Conqueror, I think that's how you pronounce your name. He says good luck. Thank you, sir. And MST877. I get missed 877 maybe. Hello, thank you. Hello to you as well. Thanks for watching.
Good stuff. Got some chatter in the chat.
Yeah, always good. And it's nice that when I go on the chat as well, it doesn't show my desktop screen. It's all good. All good tonight.
I just want to jump back to the session for a moment. Boy Williamson is really applying the pressure now because he's just set the fastest lap of the race so far, 13.7. Gained 7 tenths on Sil that lap. So, if Sil didn't see him see that the distance to Boy coming down previously, he will have definitely seen it now because it will be right at the top of his screen saying Boy Williamson fastest lap.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's going to know he's coming. In other news though, Baz Brain has just stopped for soft tyres and has come back out and lost his M plate immediately.
Oof.
On exit. Really having an uncharacteristically bad race tonight, isn't he, Boy?
Yeah. Baz.
Sorry, Baz. I don't know why I said Boy. Too many B's. I told you this would happen, Adrian. Sorry, Baz. Yeah. It just seems to be sort of struggling more than Dean do.
I think what Baz is doing, he's just getting all the bad bits out in this one race so that he doesn't have any for about the next 8 seasons.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Or he could just be sort of pandering to the crowd who's going to do a Lewis Hamilton and just pretend that he's actually doing terribly.
Oh, guys, I'm really struggling. No, Baz Brain win! Yeah, that would be quite something. Thanks, guys. Best man.
I would love to see that, but
that would be amazing. He comes in again, though.
It really would be. I do have a lot of faith in Baz. I don't know if I've got that much faith.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's quite the comeback drive. And again, still 29 laps to go. Who knows what can happen?
Oh, who knows?
That gap starting to also the decrease in that time between Sildevit and Boy Williamson slowing down a bit now. 5.5 seconds, the gap sort of taking a couple of tenths out a lap now, it looks like, for Boy. That leaves Sildevit safe for the moment. And at least Boy can now see still every now and again around the Noval chicane. He gets a glimpse of the back of that McLaren. He knows he's wheeling him in. Really spurs you on, doesn't it, when you can finally see the car in front?
Yeah.
It's not often you get that chance around here. It's, you know, a gap over sort of 2 or 3 seconds, you don't really see the car in front. So, you know, apart from the tunnel or maybe the start-finish straight.
Yeah, when it's visible, when the prize is actually tangible,
yeah.
and then that makes all the difference. Nicky Visser's dropped back considerably from Boy, or you could say actually Boy's probably pulled away from him. And Nicky's actually just got a 3-second penalty as well. Perhaps I'm trying to keep up.
I mean, they're kind of, quite in a nice place because he knows Boy right now is going to pull away from him in the championship, but he's at least he's close to him, and he's got 14 seconds behind him to play with. If he knows he can't catch him, at least he can kind of relax and not necessarily let off. I mean, like you say, anything can happen around there. You know, Boy could have an issue, and that brings Nicky right back into it. But he doesn't really need to push right up to the back of him, does he?
No, exactly.
Especially at a track where you can't pass very easily. You know, keeps out the dirty air, keeps the tyres life longer. Just kind of cruises around on his own.
Yeah. Last season, Boy was very much playing kind of second fiddle to his teammate, to Nicky. Even though Boy did win a couple of races, through his own merit. He was very kind of the number 2 driver. Now that he's broken off from Nicky, this is a completely different version of Boy that we're seeing. He's already looking like a potential champion. It's
almost kind of like reminiscent of Rosberg in 16, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. There you go.
Where you see that resurgence, that kind of I'm not sitting behind you for 2 more seasons here. I'm gonna win my own championship.
Yep.
Whether you like it or not.
Hopefully, Boy doesn't retire at the end of the season.
Yeah, hopefully we keep him for 1 more season. Yeah.
Or if he does retire, he does a Felipe Massa and comes back within like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm off 5. Oh wait, I'm back. Just kidding.
Hashtag thanks Massa.
Yeah. That was funny. 2018 he came back for another one, wasn't it?
No, it's 17.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My mistake.
And Williams let him keep the car that he drove at Abu Dhabi in 16. Did donuts in at the end. I was there at that race. He was doing donuts virtually right in front of us. Yeah. It was quite emotional, and everyone was like, "Yeah, thanks, Massa." And then he retired and then came back.
Yeah, there was a big statue for him, wasn't there?
Gotcha.
The track, you said. Did you say it was like a big monument to Massa?
Yeah, there is. Yeah. It said thanks Massa 250 because he'd done 250 Grand Prix. That was the last one.
Then returns for another season. Aha! Just kidding. But I'm really going into this one, so if you can do the same thing again, that'd be great.
Yeah, thanks Massa 270. Okay, thanks.
I wonder if they did anything else for him again at the end of the 2020.
I hope not. I do hope not. Hope they took the car back off him.
Yeah, right, that's it. Why did he come back? It wasn't a fan, was it? Someone,
Bottas. That's it, yeah. They couldn't find anyone else.
So, like, fine. Whilst we've been discussing Massa though, Boy Williamson has really closed up now. 4 seconds. It was just under 4 a minute ago. Lost a bit of time there down the back straight. Sildevit gets another penalty. Do you know what the penalties are for Phil and Boy, respectively?
Yeah, stand by.
Roger. Nicky Visser I think Nicky is just kind of floating around behind Boy because he's not really falling back, but he's not closing either. I think it's kind of an intentional gap he's built there, if you like.
I've got some interesting information for you regarding penalties, as Boy Williamson nearly goes completely sideways around something bad. Sack corner.
Je suis au baguette.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, so interesting. Still de Wit has 9 seconds of penalties.
Okay.
9 seconds. Boyd Williamson has 6 seconds of penalties.
Oh.
Nicky Visser has 3 seconds of penalties.
Oh, okay. This almost brings them all finishing exactly the same time.
Yeah, that's it. They're all winners.
They're all winners. Well done, guys. Share the top step.
Nicky Visser just set his fastest lap of the race so far, a 14 dead, 14.000.
Yeah, and as I was mentioning, he kind of was controlling that gap. It's now kind of increasing a bit. This sort of Nicky to Boy, now 2.8 seconds. Not much, but a couple of tenths a lap. So it could just be a pace advantage to Boy here, and he doesn't look like he's got that. Although the gap now holding around 4 seconds to Sil, not floating up too fast. If anything, it's increasing slightly now.
Yeah, Boy lost 3 tenths on him on that last lap. That's pretty much all from that slippery moment.
Yeah, well, sector 1 for him so far look pretty good. 4 seconds now. The gap to Sil.
The top 3 here, by the way, significantly faster than anybody else on the track.
Yeah, that's sort of evidence, isn't it, by that gap to Marcel now, 24 seconds to the Red Bull behind.
Yeah. I mean, the slowest of the 3 is Nicky with a 14.9. Then the next slowest driver is a 15.9, John Donkel. And everyone's slower than that.
Yeah.
John on 39 lap hold hard tyres with 23 to go.
Yeah. It's a big ask, but we did say you might have to make it. Martin Parley Cooper there letting Baz Dembrain through at turn 8. That releases the Alfa Romeo driver to go and chase down Guido Ocean, 30 seconds ahead of him at the moment. It's a really big gap if you just look on the map at the moment. You've got Baz Dembrain coming around the last corner now, and Guido going around turn 5. It just, yeah, a pretty big gap.
Yeah, it's almost 2 separate races going on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Group B.
Yeah. You got John Donkel leading the Formula 1.5.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of saw that, didn't you, in qualifying, really? There were guys who were doing the 110s, 111s, and there was kind of the 112 lower.
Yep.
After that, so there were kind of 2 group qualifying.
Next 10 laps or so, still starting to feel the wear on the tyres. He may have to start nursing them a little bit, depending on how he's attacked so far.
Yeah. Yeah, start massaging those tyres, Sil. Still got 22 laps to go.
That's the thing, isn't it, for Sil now? If he pits, he will lose the race unless there's a safety car.
Yeah. And if he stays out, he'll probably still lose the race. Purely because the tyres could give way, right? 22 laps, 55 laps at the end of the race on mediums. Is that doable?
Yeah, but I mean, there'll be 85%. They'll be ridiculous. But
yeah.
It is difficult to overtake. Even you know, he could do a Danny Ricciardo and just sort of limp to the end. I know it wasn't a tyre issue for Danny; it was the engine.
Yeah.
But yeah, his tyres may just explode and he'd have no choice.
Or Lewis Hamilton on Verstappen.
Yes.
You know, his tyres were terrible.
Yes.
Yeah. He still wins!
Yeah, amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how he did it. It's because he's got the best fans.
Well, it must be.
Thanks, guys. Head out now. 7 here on 78. This is, of course, F1 tonight. Netherlands. The Monaco Grand Prix here. Round 6 of season 7. As we see Paul Quarry knock off some more end plate there. Really doesn't like that front wing this race. But Sildovit leads us around, as he has done for the majority of this race so far tonight. They've had many different leaders, and still got a few different winners on the cars, I think, as it stands.
Yeah. It's certainly not a foregone conclusion.
Nope, absolutely not. The gap continues to tumble down now to 2.7 seconds to Sildovit from Boy Williamson. It was, 4 seconds a couple of laps ago. The boy really hammering down now. Pedal to the metal. Pedal to the metal. Pedal to the metal.
Yeah, you know, I heard that expression.
Pedal
you put
to
your
the medal?
you put your pedal to your medal.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. In the Olympics. They say.
I think in the rowing they do paddle to the medal.
Paddle to the medal.
uh. 2.5 now, the gap.
Up that gap. And still a bit comes in the pits.
Oh, he's in. Oh, that's it then.
58. For now, that is it. Sildovit's conceded. He comes in for hoping some fresh mediums. Oh, I'm seeing 16 lap old ones at the moment.
Oh.
Oh no. I'm still seeing 16 laps.
That'll be alright. That's not ideal, but
yeah,
it'll be
it's
alright.
not great, but that's, yeah, like you say, it's doable. In all things considered, they're probably what, 15-20% worn?
Yeah, it might not even be as high as that.
It's slippery coming out of the pit lane exit there. So 14 seconds to Nicky Visser. Of course, right now we've lost so many drivers that there's not an awful lot that can happen without these guys making their own mistakes.
That's very true.
Because they're so spread out.
Yeah. They've kind of got. They've got no pressure really from anyone. The only one that is under any sort of pressure is Boy from Nicky.
Yeah, we'll see now if this gap starts to close down now that Nicky knows he's P2. The tyres are exactly the same age, and none of them will be stopping unless they have to. I mean, even at this point, you'd argue any damage might keep them out still because they've got nothing to really lose. Or Nicky comes in. Nicky stops. This will put. Still, I think it's P2. Maybe we'll keep on board with Nicky here and see how this goes. So is Nicky going for soft tyres here?
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Oh,
That could be
hard.
He's
putting hard tyres.
I don't know why he's done that.
Okay.
I was going to say, if he went onto the soft tyre, that might actually have been an inspired choice because if he stayed on the mediums, just on the same tyres as Boy, on the same age of tyre, he will probably remain behind him because it's so difficult to overtake. So at least if he'd gone on to the soft, he would have had that advantage, but he's opted against it. Yeah, that's really strange. I don't know why he would have done that. I think he's practically given P2 now to Sil.
I mean, there is the argument that he's just made a mistake with the call on the tyres himself.
Yes, possibly.
I mean, again, if it was a last-minute choice, that pit entry is not very far from the racing track, is it? So if he was like that last minute and you're trying to fiddle around and set the tyre up, could have just been a simple mistake on his part.
Could be.
Let him, or put him in his predicament.
Sort of, in.
Yeah.
moment. Just while we've got a little moment, are you right if I do a quick shout out there?
Absolutely, go for it.
I'm sure you like this one, because this one is actually for Synergy PWR.
Huzzah!
Who, as you well know, Dan, being their co-owner, race on a Tuesday and Wednesday night. Tuesdays for Division 2, they race at 7 o'clock in the evening, and Wednesdays is Division 1, again 7 o'clock. And yeah, it's the league that introduced me to league racing, really. Thank you very, very much thanks to your initial invite those 2 and a bit years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks very much for shouting us out there, Adrian. Thank you, much appreciated.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I remember back then you were asking me how I was so quick.
Well, I still am.
Well, yeah, but it's definitely, the gap has come down considerably. I mean,
I think
the amount of improvement I mean, not to kind of, you know, oh, wow, well done, Adrian, you've done so well. But you know, the amount of pace you've gained since I picked you up, at least, is really impressive.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
well,
I'm glad to have brought you into the game.
Thank you. I never really online raced before that, let alone do any sort of league racing. But yeah, very much it's one of the best decisions I have ever made. So thank you.
Absolutely. Very pleased to have been able to sort of influence that. And thanks once again for shouting out Synergy PWR! People's World Racing! Interestingly to note, whilst we were picking each other up there, Boy Williamson has come into the pits. Soft tyres.
Okay.
That now releases the bits. Well, take this one home.
Yep. Which I think he will now. I don't think Boy needed to come in. Those tyres would have survived. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, for a fact you knew that one. Adrian, stats rich! Of course you knew it. I mean, the gap's not exactly tumbling down right now, is it? I mean, I'm sure it will.
He's just at a purple middle sector, Boy.
Okay.
Although Sill's just at a purple final sector and fastest lap of the race.
Okay, Sill says, hey, thanks for the win.
Boy's final sector was purple. It's a tenth faster than the one that Sill just set. So expect him to go fastest on this lap. But yeah, I mean, he's going to catch him, but then what's he going to do when he gets there?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, that's going to be 15 laps time, 35 lap olds mediums versus 16 lap old softs. I mean, I mean, his tyres are going to be suffering a bit, aren't they, towards the end of this race?
What, Sills or Boys?
Boys.
Boys will do. They will do 20 without too much trouble, especially with the low fuel that they've got now. You know, the fact that he's using them at the end of the. Oh no! It's still lost it.
No! Keep going, Sil. Push, push.
Wow.
Oh no! What's it? I guess he's done. Caught the back wheel, I guess, on the exit of the no chicane.
He's done a classic still pirouette.
Yeah, again.
Flipping that wall. That is really unfortunate. I think Boy would have only needed to get within 3 seconds of him anyway to have won on penalties.
Yeah.
Which I think he would have done anyway. So there's no big loss there, but. Yeah, it seems whenever Still is geared up to potentially win a race, it's always Boy Williamson that beats him to it. Did exactly the same thing at Silverstone last season.
Yeah. Another book name for Sil now, from Eyes on the Prize to Tears in My Eyes, the Sildervit story.
Very good, Dan. I love these.
Thanks. Yeah, real shame. But I mean, this is now just the advantage. It's just completely slid onto Boy's plate now. It's on the soft tyre, now ahead of Sil. The only thing that can really do him in now is Boy getting too complacent with this lead and making a mistake. Yeah,
which you have to argue Boy is far less likely to do than Sil.
Yeah. Fortunately so. I mean, still, it's going to be a really good finish for Seizoen. Another. How many podiums has he had so far this season? It's definitely his second, if not third, isn't it? I'm sure he's had one before now, hasn't he? Or was he on? Was he on for a couple of podiums but has lost out?
I think he's had one podium this season. He's had a couple last season.
Yeah.
But yeah, never won a race so far.
What a race to have won. Would have been Monaco.
The big one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Unbelievable. So, too many devastating blows we're getting on these races at Monaco this week.
There is a lot of heartbreak.
Yeah, there is, yeah. Paul Quarry gives Boy a hard time here. Oh, he's ghosted.
Well, yeah, essentially. I don't know if Paul Quarry's done very many laps himself.
I think
something's come off.
Yeah, that was off of Paul's car.
Oh right, his AI is struggling. That's clearly a setup issue then. If his AI is struggling to keep
yeah, I mean
it on
it's
track.
something we've often mentioned, haven't we, about the Mercedes guys? If they run these time trial-esque setups or just setups that don't really work for them.
Yeah.
Certainly something I think we agree improved after Azerbaijan. Spain looked better for them.
Yep.
And even tonight, it was looking good until it just sort of went downhill for Paul.
And this sort of track is really important to have a comfortable setup, more than a fast setup, because there's no room for errors on this track. There's none at all.
You've been comfortable like really soft suspension on my setup, Adrian.
But 1-1, yeah.
Yeah, you loved that one, didn't you? Wow, this is so smooth. Bouncing up and down.
Isn't it?
It's like an airbed. There's that nice shot there we just saw of there you go, with Nicky Visser as well, that helicopter view of Sector 3.
That's lovely.
A really nice overview of the track. Very nice indeed.
On those helicopter shots, you really can sort of tell that they are just normal roads.
Yeah, I mean you can see
sort of
around like the Grand Casino hairpin, you can see the Grand Hotel hairpin. Sorry, you can see the taxi rank markings and all these other like bike lanes and things. Surprisingly difficult to make out the track though. If you look on Google Earth, I found this place.
Yes, it is.
Because the road markings really don't give it away how the track goes.
These Armco barriers and things, they're all installed around early March time for the race in May. Takes about 10 weeks in total. 1,500 personnel are involved in the construction.
Very nice. Do you know how many barriers there are to put up?
I do not know.
Oh, okay. I don't either.
You could say two. One on the inside, one on the outside.
Yeah, just one big strip they unroll around the whole track. I didn't realise, I don't know if I'm wrong in saying this, but is Armco a brand?
Yes.
And it's spelled ARAMCO, isn't it?
Yes, I think so. I've never actually seen it written. I've never seen it written.
Yeah, it's like in a blue kind of rectangle with white outline, and it's white text saying you'd think it'd be pronounced Aramco, like Aramco. But yeah, pronounced Armco. Quite a good business. And that's I mean, John Donkel really pulling away in this Formula 1.5 race. 1 minute and 8 seconds to Guido Urshan behind him. He comes into the pits. Should come back out in P5.
I've just googled it. I've got Armco, ARM.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll probably found a different brand that I thought was the same thing, but not.
But yeah, you found the cheap version.
Cheapo one. Put an extra A in for a laugh. Yep, Donderdag, of course, comes back out. P5. Not a bad day for Toro Rosso, really, is it?
No.
10 points with Don, Nicky.
Yeah,
that's the fastest lap on the cars if John can get something out of the bag.
It's a good haul.
Yeah,
they were 1 and 2 at one point.
Yeah, they were. And then I think that horrible restart really messed them all up. I mean, that actually probably put a lot of things in place for the end of this race, didn't it? I've got to stop rhyming. Things tonight. But yeah, I mean, got to think, who was in that? It was Nicky. I mean, obviously he wasn't affected, but he backed up John. Sure, Boy was in the mix. Bazden Brain was definitely in there. I think he was P4 or P3.
Yeah.
You know, all those guys getting a very deeper vein was up the front. He's P4 at that stage, I think, at that restart, and they all backed into each other.
Yeah, very true. 12-2 now from Boy. That is a very fast lap.
And really stretching out that lead now at the front, isn't he? 4.5 seconds to still a bit behind him. With 8 laps to go now, just running through the drivers as they stand so far. Boy Williamson then leads the Grand Prix tonight. Just look at where he started the race, down in P5.
Still just sent me a message. Oh, he sent me a message half an hour ago, actually. He said, cramp.
Cramp? Well, he's struggling, is he?
Possibly. Or whether he's...
That is not good. Or maybe he's just calling you out.
Yeah, possibly.
Wait, cramp?
Yeah.
Can you add?
Yeah, that's probably more likely.
Yeah, and I do apologise for my pause there, interruption there. Sorry. As
No
Boy
problem.
Williamson leads the way up from P5. Not necessarily a race that looks like it's been in the bag for him right until sort of 8 laps ago. I mean, he's left it till the last minute, but then kind of things have fallen into place around him, haven't they? And here he is, leading the Grand Prix by quite some margin now, and of course fastest lap under his belt.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, he's looking like a champion. Didn't look phased at all when he was under, so-called pressure from Nicky Visser.
Yeah.
And he just had his eyes on the prize on P1, and still a bit he's closing him down, and still made a mistake, and he capitalised. So yeah, absolutely flawless drive really from Boy.
Indeed, yeah, really good stuff. Still a bit then. Our probably biggest loser, if you like, from this race tonight. But I mean, we say a biggest loser. I mean, he's still going to finish P2 here with 18 points.
And he started on pole and finished second.
Yeah,
that's a good result.
But certainly in terms of what he's lost out on, that win, he'll be pretty gutted about that. I think he's close, close as he was to achieving that. But still, yeah, like you say. Pole and P2, still a very nice result for him. Yeah.
I mean, obviously I've been there, not P1, but I had my first podium sort of snatched from me with 8 laps to go. What Till's got to remember is that, well, not necessarily remember, but he had his taken away by himself, by his own mistake.
Yeah.
Rather than something else happening that was out of, or slightly more out of his control. It has been a good race for Still. Pole position and second place. I think he can be really pleased with that. And he told me himself a podium at Monaco is not easy.
No, well, it certainly isn't. So yeah, like you say, can be very pleased with that result this evening. P3 then, Nicky Visser. Bit of a, still, started and finished as it stands P3. Good qualifying. good race so far. Not had too many issues. Led the race at one point, if not for a very, very long time, but has still been in the mix as he comes in the pits probably for some soft tyres, maybe to go for a fastest lap here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of just been there, hasn't he, during this race.
Yeah, I kind of thought he had it in the bag at one point, actually, when he was on those soft tyres. New softs with about 40 laps to go. It looked like they would make it to the end, and that's where he was going to beat. But then he came in for those. What did he come in for? Come in for hard tyres, didn't he? Randomly, with 18 laps to go, which I still can't really get my head around. I'm sure he'll explain it afterwards. He'll say it was, it was a mistake or whatever. But yeah, no, very good result really. P3 from P3 at Monaco. Yeah, it keeps him in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely, certainly does. And a close battle is only 2 points before this race. I'm going to open that up now to 10, or maybe 11. With I think Boy's got fastest lap, hasn't he? At the moment. Marcel Droning then is P4. Really good race from Marcel tonight, actually.
Yep.
Started P7, now P4. Been running, I think, P2 at one point after Nicky stopped. That left him and Boy out the front. And just looked really calm, even under a lot of pressure that he's been under tonight. He's had, queues of champions and previous champions, championship leaders behind him. But still, yeah, looked really cool out the front.
Yeah, really dealt with the pressure well. As you said, he was P2, wasn't he? Until well, we didn't actually see the pass, but both Nicky and Boy both went past him on the start-finish straight while we were looking at Sander Hermans and Peter Phillips' incident. But yeah, this is certainly one of Marcel's better races. I frequently see him in the sort of 5th or 6th place region. So to get 4th here at Monaco, it's very good.
Yeah, absolutely. John Donkall is P5 currently for Toro Rosso. Again, making Toro Rosso's day out today pretty good. He's up 1 place from P6. Has been running P2 at one point in this race behind his teammate Nicky Visser. Yeah, I think a nice sort of comeback drive after Spain last week, don't you?
Yes. Yeah, it's exactly what he needed, really. He probably feels it could have been more, but then it could have also been a lot worse, and it's certainly better than his race of last season. As I said, 16 pit stops. He hasn't even done a third of that. So, yeah, this is it's good, really good result for John and for Toro Rosso.
Yeah, absolutely. And our second Red Bull, P6, and we've just been discussing as well. I think we're agreed on Guido Urshan to be our driver of the day today, aren't we?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't really talked about him much during the race, but he's. Steele's out. Steele's out.
Oh, no much chicane. He's lost it. Oh, what a shame. Still, yeah, he's done what we saw very deep lane. Except for his rear tyre there. Somehow no safety car. I think the safety car's gone home. It's been out so many times this race. He's taking the rest of the day off. But yeah, I mean, it just goes from kind of worse to worse in a sense.
That's really going to hurt now, because you don't score any points. If you don't finish more than 90% of the race. He has finished 90% of the race, but he will be. I think he will take 8th actually, because Paul Correa is 6 laps behind.
Yeah. So
he'll still get 4 points, but he could have had 18. So. Indeed,
yeah. Yeah, that's going to hurt. It's going to help Nicky though. Of course, in his championship fight now, the gap to him the gap to Boy will increase by not as much as it would have done. Meanwhile though, Guido, as we were saying, our elected driver of the day, 16th to 6th, 10 places gained around a track where it's not that easy.
5th now.
Fifth now, yeah, of course, it'll be 11 places. I mean, yeah, really, like you say, we haven't talked about it much. It's been a bit of a quiet drive, but he's pulled it off, and certainly one of Red Bull's best races so far this season.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it seems all the blue cars have done really well.
Yeah, the Red Bull guys are doing really well. I mean, they're finishing what, second, third, fourth, and fifth. It will be.
Good day for Honda. But yeah, Guido's managed to keep himself out of trouble, just keep his nose clean, do what he needs to do, and defend his position. So, yeah, absolutely worthy of driver of the day.
Absolutely, yeah, completely agree with you on that one. Bazden Brayan is next up. He'll be P6 shortly, but currently P7. Well, I mean, we talked about him a couple of times this race, haven't we? It's been, like we said, or like you said earlier on, maybe he's getting out all these kind of little mistakes out now, so he can go another, 8 seasons without doing anything wrong. He's certainly a driver that doesn't make mistakes often, but it's been a bit more of a difficult race for Baz tonight, hasn't it?
I would say, I'd probably go so far as to say this is the worst performance I've seen from Baz since I started commentating.
Yeah, and I mean, given that he's going to be P6, it's saying a lot, isn't it, about him?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, he always recovers very well from any mistake that he makes, which, again, is just so rare. He has made a few here, but, yeah, he's still going to take 8 points away. Yeah,
still, I mean, all things considered, a really good result for him, but he's definitely not looked his usual kind of, comfortable, confident self. I'm sure we won't see much more of this happening for the rest of the season, I'm sure, but
no.
Yeah, all in all, not a bad race for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then Martin Party Cooper, again currently P8, will be P7 very shortly. A pretty good race all round for Williams. Both of them in Q3. No, both of them qualified well. 10th, sorry, 9th and
9th and 10th. Yeah.
Oh, they were both in Q3.
Yeah,
weren't
they were. Yeah.
Yeah, so 9th and 10th. Really strong qualifying. Obviously, we lost Ari earlier on in the race, unfortunately, but Martin still will be finishing with 6 points to his name, and boosting up Williams' points. Well, I think they're currently on 9 or 7. They're on 7. But they might actually get the jump on Mercedes after tonight. In fact, I think they will.
Yeah, I think they will.
So yeah, Martin.
Sorry, Boy's just coming to Razkaz.
Oh,
sorry.
Let me get on board with Boy. Not missed the winner.
Oh, he's just clipped the wall.
Easy does it now. And he's lost a lot of front wing, actually, so he's had a bit of a iffy last sector there. But Boy Williamson, what a drive. He's going to win the Monaco Grand Prix, Season 7, Round 6. Boy Williamson's your winner this evening. Very well done, sir. Nicky Visser, come around, counting your nose now. Another good drive from him. He will finish in P2 for Toro Rosso. Got a while yet before Marcel gets round, but he will be finishing brilliant 3rd. And it'll be his maiden podium for this season so far. Here he comes now, down the main straight, crosses the line, P3 for Marcel Droning. John Donkel's confirmed, P4, Guido Urshan. P5 with Bazden Brayan, P6. And Martin Party Cooper now around Razkaz. Anthony Nogues, he'll be finishing P7. I believe that's enough to put them ahead of Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship, so a good race today from Williams. And Paul Quarret will finish 8th in the end. And there we have it. Podium drivers. Another champagne!
I really wish they'd add national anthems in
yeah, it would be nice. I'd certainly hear mine.
We don't ever get the Dutch one.
Yeah, true. We could just play it in, couldn't we? We could put it in after. There we go then, Boy Williamson, your winner for tonight. 5th on the takes P1. Nicky Visser, P2, 3rd. Urshan. Bazden Brayan, 6th. Martin Party Cooper, P7. Hildevits, P8. Paul Quarret, P9. And running out the top 10, Zander Hermans. Oh, well, doesn't actually round it out. He failed to finish. So he doesn't round it out. He DNF'd, as did Peter Philip, Very Deeper Vein, Ari Kopp, Mark Stappers, and Niels Ekma, as well as Miguel Formini. Me. All DNF, I'm losing the will to speak. Apparently.
Baz Zembrian, the only one to have not suffered a penalty.
Yeah, I mean that's to be expected, isn't it? With Baz, we said it's that's certainly one thing that he's characteristically done this race is not scored a penalty.
I think the only corners he tried to cut were the ones that had walls in the way.
Yeah, not ideal. Yeah. We'll leave Guido up there as our driver of the day tonight. From,
great drive from him
on the grid. Yeah, definitely to P5. 10 points from no points. Pretty good going.
Boy, Williamson had a fantastic race as well. He would have been a very close runner-up for driver of the day.
I think there was a couple of guys there that you could have quite easily given to them. And stick around because we're about to start Canada.
You always say that.
Well, this is the first time. This and last race is the first time that I've seen them queue up the next race.
I don't know why they do it, but they do.
Well, here we go. No, but yeah, Boy Williamson, tonight's winner. Congratulations to him. Very, very fun race, I think, to commentate. Good racing.
It was
tonight. Always a joy to commentate alongside you, Adrian Rich.
Well, thank you, and likewise, always a pleasure, Dan.
And thank you very much, sir. And anything else for you to add tonight?
Nothing really, other than big potatoes.
Big potatoes from Adrian, fantastic. And giant avocados from me tonight. But that's it. So I have of course been your host. I really can't speak now. I've been your host, Dan. Hazzah, Burt. And from me, well, of course, I just did one, but another one for you here, everyone. It's another one big huzzah from me, and thank you all for watching. Always. And from you, Adrian.
And for me, it's what do I normally say?
We're all struggling tonight. It's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Hey, goodbye from me. Goodbye.